All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series for some short track racing here on Monday night from Bristol Motor Speedway here on the Revo Racing Network. My name is Trevor Earhart. Joining me tonight, Justice Murphy, and running the production, as always, is Rob Rader. Justice, we go from the high banks of Charlotte to the high banks of Bristol here for some short track racing, 200 laps tonight. And I got to tell you, from the looks of practice, these things look like they're going to be a handful.
Hey, you know what they say, Trevor? It's Bristol, baby. Yeah, it's going to be fun tonight. They look like they're a little loose there in practice. So interested to see who can handle the high banks and the quick speeds, get around here and park it in Victory Lane. Going to be a tough battle all night. A lot of trucks in the field. Navigating that's going to be very fun, especially coming off a week where we saw some wild card things happen, Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, think back to last week at Charlotte with the mixed strategy. We saw some caution, some green flag running, some interesting pit stop strategies that took some guys out of contention to win. And then another first-time winner with Kyle Diaz coming away with the win last week at Charlotte. But on to tonight, the short tracks, or the high banks, the short track of Bristol for 200 laps with a stage break at lap 40. And then I believe there's a prize, Justice, a $15 prize to the race winner, as the race is sponsored by us here at the Revo Racing Network for the Revo Network 200 tonight from Bristol. And so that adds a little bit of incentive to these guys. So not only will we probably see them use the bumper just to pass each other, but maybe get to see somebody use the bumper to come home with some cold hard cash at the end of the night.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing to watch, Trevor, is when you start rattling each other's cages here at Bristol, as I think the old saying goes. These guys going to definitely be keen on using the bumper as much as they need to. I think some of these guys coming from the back are going to lose a little patience early. And hopefully we get some green flag running in, Trevor. I think if they can get a 60, 70 lap run in, we're going to see the stars shine bright tonight. I'm looking at season-long standings. There's some guys, these guys don't have any drop races, and so you better start moving your way up. As the top four have kind of separated themselves, there's a 17-point gap from Nick Alves in fourth to Alex Berube in fifth. So these guys are going to have to start making some moves, some better strategy calls, get themselves out front.
That they will. Short season, 10 race season. We're almost halfway through it. This is race number 4 of their 10 race start to the season. But as the drivers finish up the warm up here, we'd like to thank Coastal Financial, who is the title sponsor of the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series. If you need any financial advice or just want to do some financing, banking, go check out Coastal Financial on their website, coastalfinancial.com, and of course on Facebook at Coastal Financial. And as well, we'd like to thank Slurp Sodas. They were our stage break sponsor last week, also one of the sponsors for the truck series here. And if you're in the Phoenix area and need any catering or specialty drink needs, be sure to check out Slurp Sodas on their socials, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram at Slurp Sodas. And we'll hear more from our sponsors later on. But the warm-up's over with Justice, getting ready to take a look at the starting grid and see where everybody's going to start this race tonight.
Yeah, we're getting ready to see that. Trevor, again, got some names up front we haven't really seen much. Started with Michael Reed on the pole, Clint Cox following him on the outside, Jeremy Burns, Tyler Harrison in row 2, Grant Thorpe, John Fike in row 3, Caleb Gilbert, Trevor Keith, row 4, Jacob Serkovich and Scott Negus following them in row 5.
And then down there in 11th, you're going to have Michael Call with Devin Hudgens to his outside, then Waylon Turner, Daryl Johnson in the row after that. Starting 15th is going to be Jack Clemens with Dylan Picklesheimer in 16th. Jake Williams will roll off in 17th with Dustin Adams in 18th. And then Frank Hughes and Alex Berube will round out the top 20.
William Gay in 21st, Kevin Orlando in 22nd, Al Likens and Parker Johnston immediately behind them, Dominic Hughes and Joseph Gendron, Peyton Presley and Chris Schaefer, Chris Stamper and Joe Joy are rounding out the top 30.
Then we got last week's winner all the way down in 31st, Kyle Diaz, after a poor qualifying run from himself with Wayne Lowe in 32nd. Michael Bennett's going to roll off 33rd, and shotgun on the field is going to be the 3 machine of Justin Hughes.
Yeah, it looks like we're actually going to see something interesting tonight. Trevor, as it appears, our pole sitter has an EOL penalty stemming from last week. So he will be going straight to the back of the field. So this is a real test of your patience. You know you have a fast truck, know you can get it out there. Now you got to start at the back and try to just maneuver your way through, avoid any carnage, get back up there and take the lead.
Yeah, Michael Reed, you can see as he drops to the tail end of the line, and this is kind of a heartbreak for our pole sitter. I mean, you go from first all the way back to, I believe, 34th Justice, or somewhere in the 30s, as we had 34 drivers tonight, but a couple drivers with those EOLs, Michael Reed, Jack Clemens, the 2 drivers getting penalties. Promotes Jeremy Burns to the inside of the front row, but it actually gives the control, I think, to Clint Cox in the 03 machine. We'll have the race control here on the start.
And what a beautiful sight there in row 4, Trevor. If our wonderful producer could take a look at that for just a second. Golly, those 2 Revo trucks, man. They look fantastic.
Yeah, starting side by side. The teammates starting side by side, and hopefully they don't end up side by side into the wall here at Bristol tonight. Justice, this is where it gets tough. Everybody stacked up on top of one another on the restarts, cold tires. What are we going to see happen? Pace car is off. Green flag holding, waiting for it to wave. Green flag finally falls, and there they go, launching down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Already a little bit of bumping and banging. Everybody trying to sort through it, trying to figure out what line they want to be in, and so far, so good as they exit turn number 2.
Yeah, it looks like Grant Thorpe maybe a little bit loose off that bottom starting early there. It kind of cost him some time there, going to fall back. You see Clint Cox try to get to the outside of Burns, Jeremy Burns there, and get around him. He's going to clear pretty easily. Jeremy Burns just going to fall in line as the top 4 have kind of single filed out there. And we're going to go back onto that battle for 5th where Grant Thorpe's still struggling a little bit.
Yeah, running that bottom line, and this is kind of the differing of attacks here at Bristol. Do you run the top line and wear off the tires and gain a little bit of track position while you can, or do you run the bottom line and save as much as you can? And right now, Thorpe running that bottom line, Trevor Keith on the attack on the outside line, trying to get clear of that 77 machine, and right now almost clear of him as they head down the back straightaway and should be able to clear him through 3 and 4. But first caution of the night strikes early on, lap number 4. A couple of trucks involved. Alex Berube, the 39 machine, as well caught up in that. That's Dominic Hughes out of the exit at turn number 2 down the back straightaway.
I'm going to tell you, without even seeing what happened yet, Trevor, that's a brutal start for Mr. Concrete himself. As we get the replay here, and 39 just a little loose, 19 really nowhere to go, and that's what happens at Bristol. You are on top of the wreck in about 1 second as soon as it starts happening. So not a lot of time to react. You just kind of end up there, and man, Fred just ran straight through that 39. It's a good thing the pace car is a ghost.
A good thing the pace car does ghost, but right here through the middle of 1 and 2, you can see just gets loose on Dominic there, Justice, and that's what we saw in practice. Just a lot of trucks through the center of the corner, just losing grip for some reason there, and gets spun around. Berube just nowhere to go, and for a Bristol wreck, could have been a lot worse. That happened right about in the mid pack. Thankfully, just 2 trucks involved, and here at the short tracks, don't need all the aerodynamic properties of your vehicle like we needed last week at Charlotte, so you can deal with a little bit of damage, Justice, and get away with it.
Yeah, a little bit of nose damage doesn't kill you here. It really, at Bristol, the rear damage is way worse. So the way it is tonight, though, Trevor, they might want a little rear damage, see if we can give them a little more side force. Get up there, run the wall, or run low, and maybe try to keep it underneath them a hair. But I can promise you right about now, they're looking for anything they could get to give themselves an advantage. truck just looks really hard to handle tonight. Something we normally don't see out of the truck. The truck is normally super stable. One of the most fun yet most frustrating vehicles to drive on iRacing at times for that exact reason.
Yeah, really stable, but really momentum based. You get offline just a little bit, it could cause you a big headache in a race. But tonight, these things look like an absolute handful. They kind of look like the next gen cars out there, where it just randomly loses the right rear on you and you go spinning around. So we'll see how that's going to play out tonight. And looks like not choosing this time by, but just as another point of emphasis tonight, the choose cone right there where the start finish line meets the gray asphalt at the bottom, or the gray concrete there at the bottom on the front straightaway. A little bit hard to see, so this might play into some issues for the drivers when they get to when they get to the choose cone.
Yeah, at some point tonight, if we can time this right, I'm sure we'll get a nice onboard shot with somebody choosing there, and it's just very tough visually. Again, we talked about it maybe the first couple weeks about how hard it is to see out of the cockpit of these things, and this choose cone in particular at Bristol is very tough because your depth perception tells you that to the left you don't have as much room as you think you do, and then you get down there and you freak out a little bit as we go on board here with Caleb Gilbert. And these guys making it look pretty easy at the front of the field, but as you get further back, it's going to get tougher.
Yeah, on board right here with Frank Hughes. He gets through there pretty cleanly, and we keep going back through the field. Parker Johnston here a little bit further back in the pack. Nice, easy choose for him as well. So it looks like everybody so far so good, but with all that choosing, the green flag gets delayed by one lap as it allows everybody to catch back up. And something that we saw with the Cup Series on a Wednesday night, Justice, when they ran here, was with how kind of spread out it gets with drivers choosing, the admin electing to add an extra pace lap just to get everybody caught back up so we're not restarting basically with the leaders at the tail end of the field.
Yeah, if you don't do this, everybody's not bunched up all pretty like we saw in that initial start. So yeah, you got to give them time to compress back up. Everybody get within a few feet of each other and take off. And it gives the leaders a little bit more of a gap because honestly, you want all of it you can get. The longer it takes to catch traffic, the less chance you have of getting back there and getting involved in something. So these guys stacking it back up, getting ready to give us some excitement around these high banks.
That they are. 31 laps to go before the stage break. And Clint Cox, Jeremy Burns, round two of this restart here. See if Burns can get a little bit better jump on the 03 machine, as Clint Cox was able to hold off the charge from the 72 and get out to the lead. But here we go. Arnie's got the green flag in the air, waiting for Clint Cox to go in the Geico restart zone, and a little bit of checking up as drivers were trying to time it right. But Clint with a great restart there. Justice already cleared of him as they enter turn number 1 and 2.
Yeah, he cleared him in that restart. That's playing a little bit of a game there by the 03. This restart zone's in an awkward position. We'll be able to talk about that a little more tonight as they get some more restarts going. At least one more guaranteed with the stage break. But yeah, he played a little game, waited super long. It actually looked like he waited until it went green, which is after the restart zone. So playing a little game. But back here behind Caleb Gilbert, we got Grant Thorpe again falling backward. Can definitely tell he's playing the tire-saving game, thinking that that's going to be his best chance at the outcome of this race.
Not a bad strategy calling. It's something that Grant tends to do a lot in races, and we'll see how that's going to play out for that 77 machine up front, though. See the 00 Tyler Harrison able to get around the 72 of Burns, but here goes Grant Thorpe. Justice still falling through the field, already been passed by the 61. Trevor Keith loose. He's up into the outside wall. You see it right there on the front stretch. More contact made. Many trucks caught up in that. Berube slides into it late. There goes the 39 spinning. Calamity strikes on the front straightaway, Justice, with a handful of trucks involved.
Yeah, that just looked like Trevor Keith getting a little loose off the corner, trying to fight it, keep it off the wall. And again, trucks with nowhere to go, Trevor. We'll get this replay pulled up here just momentarily. And yeah, it's tough reacting when you're out there. So yeah, you see him try to drive down, just gets loose. 18 kind of net codes a little into the front of him. Would have probably hit him either way, but sends him around, and then he's parked there, and everybody's coming.
Yeah, 93 caught up in that. 27 of Kevin Orlando caught up. The 91, our pole sitter, caught up in that as well. Michael Reed in the 91 machine caught up in that, and maybe got a little bit more contact after he got into the back of the 5 of Chris Stamper. Daryl Johnson in the 93 involved, and here we go on board with the 93 of Daryl Johnson. Get a good look at what he sees are doesn't see is he just comes out from behind the rear end of the truck in front of him, Justice, and nowhere to
Oh,
go in that wreck.
oh, and you wonder why these guys need spotters in real life. And that is basically exactly why the job of a spotter came along, Trevor. Was guys hitting sitting cars at full speed, as we saw there. A lot less dangerous in the sim, but yeah, costly. I mean, costly right here, and you just can't get away from it. So, see the 19 get involved in another one, Trevor. He did sit on pit road there and take his damage repair last time. So, he is already a couple laps down, and I'm sure very frustrated at this point, getting involved in another incident here. But this is an example, Trevor, of where your week to week execution makes a big difference because the 91 truck comes out tonight, qualifies on pole, and a mistake last week sends him to the back of the field. Here he is wrapped up in an incident that probably puts enough damage on that truck that it's going to make it very tough for him to actually work his way back forward.
Yeah, I mean that's just one of those things. You get a bad penalty break from the previous week and come to Bristol where anything can happen. Now, the good thing for Michael Reed, Kevin Orlando, Daryl Johnson, and those guys, you get it fixed. You get back out there. You might be a little bit off pace, but if you're taking laps, there's a good chance that other drivers are going to get caught up in wrecks, and you can get some spots back from that. So that they have going for them. I just think that with the damage, Justice can be a little bit off pace. You see here, Trevor Keith still on pit road, getting some work done. Daryl Johnson as well. And just as another thing we haven't touched on, the pit roads here at Bristol, a little bit different than what we typically see. You have a pit road on the front stretch and on the back stretch. And for all these drivers tonight, they have to enter regardless of where you're at on pit road on the exit at turn number 2. And it's kind of tight to get down there into that pit entry.
Yeah, it's tough, tight, and then you got to be very careful coming around in 3 and 4, depending on where you are, low or high coming through there. You can get yourself in trouble very quickly, as we see these guys choosing here, Trevor. I do want to point something out right quick that I don't know has been noticed, but that last restart, we were talking about Clint Cox playing a little game, going late in the zone, everybody trying to time it. It appears as though the 54 Caleb Gilbert got very hard into the back of the double O of Tyler Harrison, and Harrison's bumper is bent. So I'd be interested to see how it affected the front end of Caleb Gilbert's truck on that restart.
Yeah, you can see it right there as we go through the camera shots. A little bit of a nice indention on the rear bumper of the 00 there of Harrison's. For Caleb Gilbert, it doesn't look like the hood's pushed up on that 54 machine, but here's a good shot of it from the back. It looks clean.
Looks like nothing. That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
Because Harrison's truck is definitely damaged. I mean, he took a pretty firm hit there.
You can kind of see the crease there right above the Chevy logo. That's a good camera angle of it right there. You see the crease right in the middle of the spoiler there for Harrison, but for Caleb Gilbert's truck, looks pretty clean. As we get ready to get this restart underway, you see Kevin Orlando trying to catch up to the field, and up front it's going to be Clint Cox, Jeremy Burns, Tyler Harrison, John Fike, Caleb Gilbert in the top 5, with Jacob Sergovich, Frank Hughes, Grant Thorpe, Michael Call, and Waylon Turner the top 10. As we work our second caution of the night here on lap 21, going to have about a 20-lap shootout here to the stage, and there goes Clint Cox with another great jump over the 72 of Jeremy Burns, and Burns is able to hold off the 00 of Harrison, though Harrison didn't get a good jump, and now John Fike trying to get that 3rd position, but Harrison battles back for 2nd as they enter 3 and 4.
And this is going to be tough for these guys up front, as they're immediately going to have to deal with a truck that is off pace, and Daryl Johnson as he pulls off track. Veteran move there by Daryl. Love to see that. As the battle for 2nd rages on, Tyler Harrison going to clear Jeremy Burns in this battle back here for 5th, 6th, 7th. Caleb Gilbert, Frank Hughes, Jacob Serkovich getting a little testy.
And caution back out as something's happened on the front stretch. Parker Johnston goes around on the front straightaway and what looks to be a solo truck spin. Maybe he got a little loose or maybe a little bit of help off of turn number 4 as we'll get a replay pulled up of that one. But quick shout out, 61 of Frank Hughes, up 13 spots from where he started tonight. Justice, that man has been flying here in the opening stages up into the 6th place. But here's a look at what happened to the 48 machine. On the exit of turn number 4, just gets a little bit tight there. Looks like almost got into Scott Negus, checked up out of the throttle, and nowhere for the truck behind him to go. I believe that was the 84 of Hudgens that kind of just got in the back of Parker and sent him to the inside wall.
Yeah, I thought for a minute there maybe he was on a Boeing, Trevor, and something happened to it. And just the way planes are, going these days using his Delta Airlines scheme. But yeah, this is something that happens quite a bit. You're trying to keep it off the vehicle above you there, coming off the corner. Gets a little tight, and then you kind of unload, like the vehicle just unloads, no matter which vehicle it is. The Xfinity car does it, the truck does it, the next gen does it. As it unloads, somebody didn't hit you in the bumper when you have absolutely no weight on the back end, and there you go spinning around into that inside wall. So, very common mistake, common thing that happens here at Bristol. Again, you're so tight, and it's such a high rate of speed around here. It kind of can catch you by surprise at times.
Yeah, and I mean, just like that. I think that's not the first time we're going to see that tonight. I expect to see that maybe a couple more times, especially if we get some green flag runs, seeing trucks getting tight and unloading and losing control. But we'll wait and see on that. A couple of updates for you. Michael Bennett did not start tonight's race. He's going to be scored 34th. Joe Joya with some, I believe, technical difficulties. Also going to be out of this race, scored in 33rd. And then Alex Berube going to be out in 32nd after getting caught up in two early incidents for himself. So 3 trucks already out of the race tonight. It leaves us with 31 trucks on track, Justice, and I think 3 of those currently lapsed down from earlier incidents.
Yeah, and that's a tough night for Alex Berube, as we were talking about pre-race there, Trevor. He was 5th in points, 17 back of 4th. Could have had a very good night gaining on 4th place Nick Alves, who unfortunately did not make it to the race tonight. So needed a little bit of a good run. Could have caught up on Nick, maybe closed a little gap to Caleb, maybe John Fike, but. We see our top 2 in the point standings, Clint Cox and John Fike, running 1st and 4th here, and maybe proving why they're the top 2 in the point standings. Caleb Gilbert in 3rd, running in 5th. So these guys continuing to put on a great show for us.
Yeah, and Fike had a good opportunity to go back-to-back wins from Nashville to Charlotte last week. Just got caught up with a lap car, or no, I'm sorry, got caught up with a truck that was pitting late in that race at Charlotte and kind of killed the aerodynamics of the 65 machine, took him out of contention for that one. Clint Cox with some interesting pit strategy calls, I believe, from last week's race. Justice took him out of contention for a good run and then got caught up in another wreck late in that one with the 19 machine of Alex Berube. So both of our points leaders essentially had issues last week at Charlotte, trying to rebound this week tonight, and so far so good for the both of them.
Yeah, man, see an interesting little stack up there at the choose cone with 4 trucks all choosing the outside in a row and basically all at the same time. Looked like they were trying to go for a finish at Talladega there for a minute, but yeah, last week's a great show of what can happen if you get behind on the pit strategy. One wrong strategy call can put you kind of buried in the field, in traffic, in a wreck, in something that you don't want to be in. We saw that happen to Clint Cox. See it happen again this week to Michael Reed. So I think a lot of these guys kind of learning on the fly. Hey, I've got to be my own crew chief, but I've got to make the right call. Like it just adds another level of pressure to what you're doing behind the wheel when you're out there, and you don't really think about that until you're in the situation and having to think through it.
Yeah, we'll see how the strategy plays out this week with those drivers. But pace car getting ready to pull off. It's going to be a quick little 10-lap shootout here to the stage break. Technically 6, or I'm sorry, technically 5 if you count there's a caution on or after lap 35. That'll be the stage break. But actually, we're going to go one more time around here, Justice, as I don't think everybody was quite lined up for that restart. So we're going to get one more pace lap out of this, so make it a 9-lap shootout to the stage break on lap 40, where 10 points will be rewarded out to the top 10. 10 points. I got that all backwards. It's 10 points to the winner, and it goes down by 1 point all the way through to the top 10. And the points get a stage point there as they work their way down the back straightaway here coming to the restart.
Yeah, they're ready to get out there and do some high flying. I think these guys in the top 10, aside from Frank Hughes, have been pretty tame. Frank Hughes has been tame getting his way up there. He's just been really hard charging. So the rest of these guys have been pretty tame. I expect that to change here coming to the stage, Trevor.
See how it's going to play out. Right now, Clint Cox on the throttle with another greatly timed restart there as he gets a huge jump over the 72 of Burns and the 00 of Tyler Harrison. But now it's going to be the exit of turn number 2. Burns with a great run right to the rear bumper, but just nowhere to go. and trying to fight to the inside of the 54 machine of Caleb Gilbert with Frank Hughes following through. Will we make it to the end of the stage before we get another caution? That's going to be the real question. Who's going to be the stage winner, Justice? Because they're still side by side for 5th position as they exit turn number 2.
Yeah, Frank Hughes trying to get another couple positions. We get a quick caution here. And I believe, Trevor, this is going to set us up for a 2-lap shootout or so to the end of the stage, as the caution did not fall within the 5-lap window required to call the stage here.
That's going to be interesting. The timing of this caution, I believe something with our pole setter. The 91 machine just catches a slow truck, the 5 machine of Chris Stamper, and nowhere for Michael Reed to go as he was kind of pinched there, Justice, between 2 slower machines, and does a little spin onto pit road. Now the question is, if this isn't the stage break, if you're further in the field, do you come down and take tires knowing you're only going to have about 2 laps on the restart, or do you stay out, Justice, and and just stay out?
I think we're getting ready to pull up our second place runner right now as we see third pit. All right, Tyler Harrison, welcome to the booth. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, happy to be up here, boys. What's going on?
Yes, sir. We brought you up. We had a little question for you. What position do you think it would have been right to pit? I imagine you were not on board with the same strategy that Jeremy Burns just took.
No, I definitely did not expect him to ultimately kind of flip the stage here. So it'll be kind of interesting to see on the strategy side where that plays out. But, you know, I feel like I'd rather have the fresher tires later on in the race than, you know, given how the race has kind of turned out right now. So we'll see. I feel like track position is going to be king, but, you know, this Avid Studios Chevy Silverado's cooking up front here, and hopefully we just maintain this track position.
Tyler, it looks like, just from practice and kind of what we've seen early on in this race, the truck looks like a handful. I mean, what's the handling feeling like out there tonight?
Oh, it sucks. It's absolutely terrible. Like, it is nothing compared to how the next gen car drives and how I'm used to driving it at Bristol. So it took a whole hour of practice for me to kind of find a line, and I'm actually kind of shocked that I'm up here to begin with. So it just kind of have to play with the throttle a little bit, really kind of arc the corner. And yeah, just kind of hope it sticks and doesn't plow out the corner exit. So it's definitely a handful, but drivable.
I got one more for you before you do take the choose here, Tyler.
Yeah.
I mean, how's that? Are you aware of the rear damage and how's it affecting it?
I was told about it, but so far so good. It's driving okay. Yeah, so far it really hasn't had any sort of effect. So hopefully we don't get any more.
Well, Tyler, we wish you good luck for the rest of the race, and hopefully we're talking to you at the end of the night. We're going to send you back to your team.
Sounds good. Have fun calling it, boys.
Thank you. Well, Justice, truck apparently not handling the best, but the damage for Tyler not hurting his truck there. So I guess good news with the bad news.
Yeah, I mean, not surprised to hear that as far as how the truck itself is driving. It's pretty much exactly what it looks like. They look like they're a real handful tonight. So to hear a guy like Tyler, very good basically everywhere we go in the Cup Series. So to hear that from him, it's a respectable opinion. You know that he's giving you his honest thought there. So we see him this time from second place take the outside behind Clint Cox, maybe realizing that it's a tough jump to time from that inside lane in second place. So making a decision that he thinks may get him closer to winning this stage, but 2-lap shootout's going to make it very tough to get back to that 03 truck.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to do. It's going to be a quick little shootout as lights are off on the pace car. Quick update: Parker Johnston, Jeremy Burns, Grant Thorpe, Dylan Picklesheimer, Wayne Lowe, Justin Hughes, William Gay, Jack Clemens, Kevin Orlando, the drivers that elected to come down pit road on the previous caution. Actually, that last caution, the caution before, to get 4 tires and flip the stage for themselves. But up front, it's going to be that of Clint Cox, Caleb Gilbert, Tyler Harrison, Frank Hughes, Waylon Turner for what's going to be essentially a 2-lap dash here to the stage break, Justice. And I think if you're Clint Cox, if you get a good restart here, you should be good to go. But we'll have to see if Tyler Harrison has anything for that 03 truck for the stage break. Pace car is off, waiting to get into the Geico restart zone, waiting for the 03 to get a good launch there. And again, Clint Cox going late in the restart box, Justice, just timing these restarts really well. Harrison not with a good launch. It's actually going to give Caleb Gilbert a chance to get clear here down the back straightaway, but doesn't elect to come up and block the double zero. And that could have been a big wreck right there had he continued to make that move.
Yeah, I didn't want to quite say it, Trevor, but this is a one-lap shootout to the stage, and we see him wrecking after the line here.
Oh,
The stage was coming out anyway, as it was end of lap 40, but that was going to be rough. You saw the 65 kind of send it 3 wide as Tyler Harrison got loose, and then some trucks stacking up further back just cause a little spin and go, and that's kind of what you get with stage racing sometimes, Trevor.
yeah, not quite sure. You see it right there. Jacob Sirkovich contacted the double zero Tyler Harrison. 51 of Jake Williams involved, the 45 Likens, Parker Johnston, the 25 involved, the 23, I believe, of Chris Schaefer also caught up in that, and Justice, that was Dustin Adams in the 25. It's a handful of trucks caught up in that caution there right as the stage was coming out.
It looked like as Jacob made contact with Tyler Harrison, sent him down the track. Jake Williams in the 51 looked like he made a little maneuver kind of reacting to that. Caught somebody in the right rear, and just chain reaction from there. Caught trucks going everywhere, Trevor.
Yeah, here's going to be a good look at it as it comes toward us here in turn number 1. You see Sirkovich to the inside wall, nowhere for the 99 to go. Jeremy Burns with a ton of damage as well. Didn't see him caught up in that, along with the 77 of Grant Thorpe. So 2 of the drivers who elected to flip the stage there, Justice, with some heavy damage in that wreck.
Yeah, it's one of those times where if you flip the stage, if it's me, I keep rolling down pit road and getting as far back as I can, and then I'm running that 1 lap shootout at about quarter speed because I'm not going a lap down, so it doesn't matter what I do. But yeah, it's one of those things that happens. Just what did Denny Hamlin once say? It's just short track racing.
Something like that, along with what's his other famous line here? I beat your favorite driver. Maybe we'll get one of those in one of the interviews one day, Justice, because that'll be a pretty good line for somebody to say. But interesting developments here. As we talked about pit strategy last week, how about pit strategy this week? Is Clint Cox, Scott Negus, the 2 drivers electing to stay out here. Parker Johnston came down pit road on lap 26. Got through that last wreck with no damage. So Parker going to be the first truck on the fresher tires in our 2 leaders. Wayne Lowe, Justin Hughes, and William Gay, along with Jack Clements, Parker, and Dylan Picklesheimer all came down on lap 35. Before then, you get to Caleb Gilbert, John Fike, and our group of leaders who just came down there at the stage for their pit stops. But again, Justice, interesting pit call by the 03 machine.
Yeah, I imagine the amount of cautions they've had. They're taking about 6 laps each caution. So they've run somewhere around, gosh, I don't know, 40 laps. They've run 45 laps. I guess they've run about 36 of them under caution, or 32 of them under caution, something like that. So probably saving quite a bit of fuel here, I would venture to say. So even at 6 laps on the tires, 7, 8, 10 green flag laps, you can just stay out there. I'm surprised that Moore didn't try that strategy. But Clint Cox saying, hey, I'm tired of making the call to go to the back of the pack. I want to stay up front as long as I can. So maybe learning lessons from weeks past. The 55 of Scott Negus taking his chance to get up there as we're on board with him, warming those tires up, getting the marbles off the truck. So first truck on, I guess basically fresh tires, 1 lap old tires, Parker Johnston and Wayne Loeb there on the inside of the second lane. So whole mix of tire strategy here, damaged trucks. It's further on back. This should be very interesting now, Trevor.
That's going to get interesting. Quick update on everybody. So we had technically 33 drivers start tonight. Right now, 22 of them remain on the lead lap with a handful, basically, I think from 21st on down, probably has some form of damage. Make that 20th on down with Michael Reed. All the way down through the field has some damage. Joe Joya, Alex Berube out of the race tonight early after being involved in the first 2 cautions of the night, Justice. But getting ready for the restart, Clint Cox and the 55 of Scott Negus going to lead us back to the green flag with Parker Johnston, Wayne Lowe, and then the 3 machine of Justin Hughes. His green flag is out, and Clint Cox again with a great jump over Scott Negus. Parker Johnston going to clear and actually has the best restart that I've seen so far out of that top line behind the race leader tonight. But just like that, Clint Cox almost a full straightaway ahead of second place.
Yeah, I think this restart by Parker there maybe looked a little better because Scott Negus tried to lag back, get where he could see a better angle of the 03 launching, and just didn't time it quite right. So as we see Parker in the 48, the 3 of Justin Hughes, 34 Wayne Lowe, most likely all going to clear the 55 of Scott Negus in just 2 laps. And we now get another caution here, Trevor.
Al Lyken spins around in the front straightaway, and I believe the 99 of Michael Call is the other truck back there in the background in the middle of 3 and 4 that was sideways on the apron, but doesn't look like a lot of damage to either one of those machines. But we'll get a quick look and see what happened here. And this looks like going into 3 and 4, the 99 gets a little bit loose, flips the 40 machine of Al Likens, who just does a nice little lazy drift out in the exit of turn number 4, but doesn't look like any no harm, no foul there, Justice.
Yeah, I tell you, it's so funny watching those things happen where the 99 loses it here, and it just looks like you pulled the parachute on the side of the truck. Like, he just looks like he's stopped, and these other trucks trying to fly around him here. Great job by everybody to avoid him. Unlucky for the 40 of Al Likens to get clipped. However, he keeps it off the wall, so nothing more than a little bit of heat in the tires. Luckily enough, they're getting plenty of time to cool them down, so should be fine. As you see the 84 Devin Hudgens getting a lucky dog. That will bring 23 cars to the lead lap, Trevor, or trucks. My apologies. So very interesting that you have this many still on the lead lap. Actually, I lie. No, that does bring him to the lead lap, so very good for him.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you're not out of this until you're out of this. But we got our race leader, Clint Cox, up in the booth with us tonight. And Clint, it's been looks like an eventful race out there. The truck from other drivers that we've heard hasn't been handling the best. But what's your perspective of it as you've led the first 52 laps of this thing?
It's all right. If you just don't push it too hard, it ain't too bad out of the corners. It's geared a little low, so you're hitting the chip at the end of the straightaway. But I ain't got a whole lot of green flag racing in so far to see how the balance goes, but it's all right.
So an interesting strategy call here, just kind of keeping it out there on that original set of tires. What's the game here? Just figuring don't want to go to the back and get caught up?
Pretty much hit the nail on the head. We didn't have a lot of green flag laps on the tires, and I know that mine are a lot older than theirs still, but I just don't want to get back there and get in a mess because I've done that 2 weeks in a row. So hopefully next time I decide to pit, there's a few that goes with me, and I'm not too far back there, but I just want to keep it out front for now.
Well, Clint, we wish you the best of luck for the remainder of this thing, and hopefully we're talking to you at the end of the night.
All right, thank you, guys.
That was our race leader, the 03 machine of Clint Cox. Justice, with his call there to stay out, didn't want to get caught up in the back of the field and get caught up in an incident. But as we work our 6th caution of the night, it gives us a quick time to shout out our main sponsors for the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series, and that's going to be Coastal Financial, whose main goal is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering their clients to make informed financial decisions to achieve their financial potential. You can find Coastal Financial on their website at coastalfinancial.com, and of course on Facebook at Coastal Financial. We'd also like to thank Slurp Sodas, who is a Phoenix-based drinks supplier. So if you need anything in related to specialty drinks with in terms of catering and all of that, be sure to check out Slurp Sodas at slurpsodas.com. And of course, you can find them on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Slurp Sodas. Refreshingly different. As just as we get through the chews coming there and everybody's getting lined back up, you heard from Clint Cox. How you thinking his game plan is going to work out?
Yeah, I think this is the smart move. Again, as I suspected, kind of learned from the previous 2 weeks of if you get back there with the squirrels, you kind of know what you get. So thinking that he wants to stay out front, and the longer this goes, if it keeps having cautions, he can stay out front and maybe go down and 7, 8, 9 guys follow him. It only puts him about, I don't know, 12th, 13th place. So it doesn't put him nearly as far back as if he buried himself right now in, say, 23rd, where he would have to really, really be battling the handle of the truck and the handle of everybody else's truck.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. I mean, he's got Caleb Gilbert's right there in 5th. So, I mean, I think had he pit, wouldn't be in the worst of shape, but I understand the feeling there from the 03 machine not to go to the back of the field with kind of what we've seen tonight. But we'll see how it works out for him. You're watching the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series here for the Revo Network 200 from Bristol Motor Speedway. Clint Cox gets ready to lead us back to green, and again, just going late in the box, stacking up the outside line, and this time a much better start from the 55 machine of Scott Negus, who's going to be side by side with Parker Johnston as they work their way through 1 and 2.
Yeah, these guys look like they're stacking up a little here, and you got a super speedway race from 2nd through about 14th. As these guys trying to sort it out. The 48 clears. The 3 is trying to clear that 55 truck. 54, Caleb Gilbert has worked his way back to 5th place. We see a little contact to 55 in the 3. This is where patience starts to get tested because everything feels like an intentional hit with the way things are going tonight. So this 55 machine kind of bleeding positions here, staying on the bottom. If that works out long term for the tire saving, you can get a long run. Then you look like a genius here. If not, it's very tough. Just kind of getting freight trained here by the outside lane.
Oh, one truck inside wall. Peyton Presley in the 7 machine slides it to the inside. Keeps it straight after bouncing off the inside wall there. Justice going to try to merge back on, but caution elsewhere on the racetrack, and not sure if what that was, but it looks like there it is. The 55 machine. Scott Negus going to be the reason for caution number 7 tonight, as looks like he had some kind of issue out there. As we'll get the replay pulled up and see what happened to the 55.
I believe just a quick view, it looked like he kind of slid up and had a little bit of contact with somebody. Yep, similar to what happened with Parker Johnston. You kind of get up there, get tight. This time he made a little contact, bounced him off into the inside wall. Just kind of one of those things that happens, Trevor.
Yeah, just we saw it almost identical to what happened to Parker Johnston there. Justice just got tight, got into the, I believe it was the 65 of John Fike. Spins it down to the inside wall. A little bit heavier contact, though, than what we saw from the 48 machine. So a little bit of front end damage for the 55 of Scott Negus. You can see him now working it down pit road, trying to get that nose punched back out there and keep the radiator cool. Because one thing that we don't talk about a lot here, and with kind of how beat up these trucks can get and still be out there, and especially after Clint Cox said they're geared a little bit low, Justice, these guys with some nose damage might have to be careful about these things running a little bit hot and potentially blowing the motor.
Yeah, especially here, the more closed off they get, we talk about how much aero isn't a thing. It isn't a thing until your radiator doesn't get cool anymore, and then it's a thing. So, yeah, one of those things where you would rather just run a modified here. You'd rather completely lose the front clip than continue to bow it in or cause the radiator to have any problems. But Scott Negus should be able to get down there. Team should be able to beat it out of there and be okay. So he should be able to get back out and be somewhat competitive. Maybe get himself back into the top 15 if he can get a lap back, because I believe he's lost one to the repairs, Trevor. But we have quite a few trucks in the pit, basically from 16th on back at the moment, either taking repairs, fuel, tires. Maybe some of them figuring, hey, I'm back here. Let me get as many advantages as I can. Set myself up for later, because some of these guys up front are absolutely going to have to make some pit stops.
Yeah, I mean, you got drivers taking fuel, taking tires, getting damage repaired. As I believe we saw a couple of drivers, Tyler Harrison, Grant Thorpe, come off of pit road there. Michael Call also now down on pit road. As I believe 23 trucks now left on the lead lap. Jeremy Burns going to be the first truck one lap down, as Scott Negus has gone a lap down, getting the damage repaired on his machine. Quick rundown, top 10 is going to be Clint Cox, Parker Johnston, Justin Hughes, Caleb Gilbert, Wayne Lowe, William Gay, John Fike, Kevin Orlando, Dylan Picklesheimer, and Waylon Turner going to round out the top 10, Justice. And a couple drivers we haven't really talked about tonight. Justin Hughes, I believe, was almost caught up in an earlier wreck and snuck through there. Wayne Lowe, we haven't talked about tonight. William Gay, another driver we haven't talked about, as well as those 3 drivers up inside the top 6.
Yeah, you have 5 guys right now in the top 10 that are up at least 14 positions. Kevin Orlando, William Gay, Wayne Lowe, Parker Johnston, and Justin Hughes, with Justin Hughes being up the most positions at 32. So just a wide variety of things going on right now, and these guys being able to make moves, staying a little patient, avoiding some of the chaos, but probably more so than anything, avoiding the chaos, Trevor. We've kind of seen it middle to the back of the pack. It just seems to kind of get started, and once it gets started, it's just not stopping.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a combination of just the way the setup is or what's going on, but the trucks definitely don't look as stable as I've seen them here in the past. So these drivers have their hands full. A little bit of bumping and banging going on here on the choose cone, or not the choose cone, the pace lap is Wayne Lowe, John Fight, Kevin Orlando all just kind of giving the hurry up to each other under caution, but it looks like they've got that sorted out. But I saw them giving a little shot to each other, maybe a little friendly bump, is it's like to be done to drivers from time to time. Justice, as we get ready to come to the green through 3 and 4.
Yeah, we're starting to see some of our notably more aggressive drivers work their way forward. And, maybe surprised it took them this long to get forward, but these guys for sure going to put on a show. Just got to keep it clean here, Trevor. As we see the 03 pulling into the Geico restart zone, gets a nice launch. And Parker this time for sure with the best launch of anybody behind that 03. However, Justin Hughes appears to have timed it up just as well.
I think both drivers finally realizing when the 03 likes to go, and there's a crossover move from the 48 machine on the 3 machine of Justin Hughes. Just not going to have the grip as Hughes has the fresher tires, and Parker got to settle for third now, as we'll see if the fields can get sorted out and work their way into a green flag run. Caleb Gilbert clear, Wayne Lowe clear of Kevin Orlando, but here comes Orlando to the inside. Wayne going to try to pinch him down there to the bottom. This is where you got to be careful because the trucks drift up, and just like that, contact made. Field scatters. Wayne Lowe gets clipped. They're still green, still sideways. And there goes the 61 spinning around. He's going to spin it back up in front of the field and cautions out, but thankfully, nobody involved.
Oh, the fact that was just a whole bunch of beating, banging, spinning for basically the 3 original trucks that were involved to be the only 3 involved is pretty incredible. As we see Wayne Lowe and Kevin Orlando, I believe, kind of where that started. Wayne off pace, the 30 and the 61 kind of come around, a little beating and banging. 61 ends up around, parked on the track and on the apron half and half. So that's going to bring out the caution 9 times out of 10, Trevor. But not surprised there. I kind of alluded to the fact that we were seeing some of our more aggressive guys start to work their way forward. Kevin Orlando and Wayne Lowe, 2 of those guys that are very aggressive, very hard racers. And we see it kind of boil there into a little bit of contact.
Yeah, just one of those things, hard racing, a little bit of beating and banging, and sends a couple of trucks spinning around, but thankfully nobody else caught up in that. But with this being our 8th caution of the night here on lap 71, this is going to give us a quick moment to step aside, take a quick commercial break, and we will be back for the restart here in a couple of minutes.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series on the Revo Racing Network for the Revo Network 200 from Bristol Motor Speedway for some short track racing tonight. And it's been every bit of short track racing, Justice, as we've working our 8th caution of the night as drivers get through the choose cone here. But it's been about what you'd expect from Bristol race, which has kind of just been a demolition derby, so to speak.
Yeah, ill-handling trucks and maybe some ill-tempered drivers at times. It's kind of looked like tonight, Trevor. So we'll see how this continues on. The longer these guys stay out here, I think the more frustration you're going to see come out, you're going to see some guys giving less room. And the way these trucks are handling tonight, less room is not going to be conducive to getting any kind of long runs in. So these guys have to figure it out, get out there and race each other. That's what we want to see. Let's give the people a little bit of a show. I think that they're ready to see, maybe a 15, 20 lap battle would be appropriate right here.
Yeah, I think that's what the crowd wants to see. It's what we want to see, and we also want to see what's going to happen to the 03 machine of Clint Cox, who's still yet to make a pit stop. 75 laps into this race on 75% fuel. That 03 machine's still not down pit road yet, and I don't blame him, Justice, but I think at this point he's putting himself in a bad situation where when he does make that pit stop, he's going to be one of a few trucks to come down pit road to make it. As the pace car pulls off, Clint Cox is going to lead us back to the restart here as he works his way into the Geico restart zone, and this time a little bit better jump over the 3 machine of Justin Hughes and Parker Johnson, but they still timed it pretty well as he doesn't get that big of a jump, and now it's going to be the 3 clear. Will John Fike be able to clear the 48 of Parker Johnson, who's on the older tires, as they work their way through 3 and 4?
Yeah, we see them basically trying to sort it out for 5th and 6th. The top 5 have basically gone single file here, Trevor. And it looks like the 9 truck and the reminiscence of the 55 has kind of gotten stuck to the bottom. The 27 has slid down there trying to make his moves up to the front. We haven't got to talk much about Kevin Orlando Jr. much in that 27 tonight. Rocking the Revo hood with an American flag on the deck lid, but this battle for 5th is kind of what's raging right now as we see Parker Johnson actually in 2nd, making his move around the 3 of Justin Hughes to the outside.
How about a battle for 2nd? To the outside goes the 48 machine, and just like that, that pass and battle done and over with as the 3 machine of Hughes gets really loose and slides up in front of the 65 of John Fike. Fike gets bumped, and there he goes inside wall. Nashville's Super Speedway's winner, 2nd place man in points. Hard contact to the inside wall, and Justice, another case of a truck getting tight, getting into one another, and it looks like once that contact's made on corner exit, there's nothing the inside truck can really do, but just hope you don't clobber the inside wall.
Yeah, it's just rinse and repeat. The 3rd time we've seen this happen where you're just kind of tracking out. I think John Fike probably expecting a little more out of Justin Hughes there, expecting him to track up, all the way to that outside lane that you expect the trucks to run. And Justin Hughes just does not. Ends up causing a little bit of contact as Justin Hughes did maybe pinch him a little bit here in the middle of the corner. But yeah, John Fike just kind of sliding up into him. Gets the truck off balance, unloads, and hello inside wall.
Yeah, it's not a fun view there, as you saw from the onboard camera. It's kind of a helpless feeling when you're sliding to the inside wall. But again, just one truck caught up in front in this caution, as it's the 9th caution of the night. And just it's kind of been the story. We've seen 2 really decently sized incidents with the 6 or 7 trucks involved, and then it's just been a lot of 1-2 car spins. As the trucks have, like we've mentioned, just been ill handling out there on the racetrack. But this gives the 5 machine a chance to get one of his laps back as Chris Stamper gets back on the lead lap. And I think we're going to talk to our 2nd place driver right now, Parker Johnston. As Parker, Trevor, and Justice up in the booth, man. You're on a little bit different strategy. You came in on lap 26, but you're up there in 2nd, man. How's the truck feeling?
Pretty good. Every time we keep getting cautions, I'm gaining time, and well, yeah.
Oh, so it looks like Justice has had some technical difficulties, but he's back. Welcome back, Justice.
Yes, sir. Is it my turn to ask Parker a question?
It is your turn to ask Parker a question.
Hey, how does it feel to go from wrecking to 2nd like your teammate on Wednesdays?
It feels pretty good. I almost wrecked it a few laps ago, but it's
Well, I mean, so Parker, we've heard from Clint Cox, we've heard from a couple of other drivers, from Tyler Harrison. I mean, is it corner exit? Is it corner entry where the thing just doesn't feel stable? I mean, what's the vibe for you tonight with the way the handling of the truck is?
corner entry for sure. I mean, if you hit the brakes wrong, if you tap the brakes at the wrong spot, it just gets snappy loose. Range.
Well, Parker, we wish you luck for the rest of this race, and hopefully we're talking to you at the end of this. We'll send you back to your team.
Tired or no? We were in general. Yeah.
That was a 48 machine. Justice Parker Johnson, second place right now, and we'll see if he can get a good time to restart here to stay up there with the 03 machine of Clint Cox. So I gotta say, I know they've been short runs, but he still looks pretty fast out there on 85 lap old tires.
Oh man, all he's doing is heat cycling them and letting them cool back off. Trevor, that's basically what the tires love to do. Goodyear can do one thing for sure: they can make a tire that loves to go heat, cool, and maintain life. So, yeah, it just doesn't shock me that he's kind of holding them off. I expect more of the same. Here's where this ends up going south, and I've seen this happen with my now Wednesday night teammate that's driving the 15 truck tonight, Trevor Keith. We went to Martinsville last year, and it kind of got to be a little bit of a caution fest, and he decided he was going to stay out, figuring that was going to continue to happen, and then the field would have to pit. Then we proceeded to go green for about 70 laps, and he had to pit under green flag condition. And it really cost him because he ended up 3 laps down and basically running about 25th the rest of the race. So, not saying that that's what's going to happen to the 03 of Clint Cox, but it has to be in the back of your mind at this point that it's a possibility.
Yeah, I think if you catch a quick caution, maybe you come down pit road looking at the pit stops. I mean, you have drivers on lap 26, lap 43, 62. I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag of pit cycles, but pace cars off. Clint Cox going to lead us back to the green flag here. Lap 86 coming to 87, and another good restart by the 03 machine. It's going to be now the Justin Hughes, Parker Johnson going to be the battle for second, and Kevin Orlando now up there into fourth, trying to get to the inside of the 48 machine, but Parker's going to try to get back to the outside of the 3 of Justin Hughes as they exit turn number 4. Oh, and contact made as they're going to be stuck into the outside wall. No caution quite yet. There's the 44 of William Gay caught up in it. More trucks involved as they go sliding through turn 2, and now the caution finally out is Calamity on the back straightaway.
I mean, that's incredible, Trevor. Good Lord, there was 10 trucks in it before the yellow flag came out. I am dumbfounded right now at what took so long there to throw the caution. I know iRacing can wait a little longer because it's not really a safety concern, but I mean, good Lord, there were trucks everywhere.
A hard contact with a 39 of Daryl, or not Daryl Johnson, but the 39, and somebody got caught up in turn 2 with some major contact. You see the 99 there of Michael Call caught up in it. We're going to try to find a better replay of what actually occurred further in the back of the field, but it all started with Parker Johnson and the 3 machine of Justin Hughes. And it was just a case of Parker trying to get to the outside, and the 3 machine faded up just a little bit. There was really nowhere for the 48 to go, and several trucks caught up late in this as they worked through turn 2, and there was just nowhere to go for everybody.
Yeah, if you're the 3 truck there, you're wanting to kind of cover that off as best you can, but if you're going to do it, you have to make the decision and be very concise about it off the corner. And he delayed it, waited till about midway down the straightaway. They end up turned. The 9 of Dylan Picklesheimer trying to avoid it goes into a drift. Can't tell who the white truck is that actually made contact, but next was William Gay. So yeah, next thing you know, here comes 3 or 4 more piling in. You get trucks trying to check up. Brakes are too far back. They're spinning. More got piled in. So just a very, very tough situation for all involved there.
Yeah, you see right there, John Fike, Waylon Turner, another truck involved in that. I'm not quite sure who that one was. But yeah, nowhere. Oh, that might have been Kyle Diaz in the 26, caught up in that. But a couple drivers after that caution out of the race tonight: Daryl Johnson, Kyle Diaz, Scott Negus. Going to call it a night. Here's try to get an angle of what happened here, but looks like that's not going to be the camera angle. It's going to help shed some light on that. But just as here we go into turn number 2. This is a good angle of it. You can just see the calamity and carnage that ensues here as drivers try to get up out of the way. And there's just nowhere for anybody to really go.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, if I'm the 9 of Dylan Picklesheimer, I'm keying up and asking these boys if when I'm sideways they couldn't read what my truck says, because it made it pretty obvious. You got to dodge me. Get out of here. So, yeah, very tough. We talked about you get on top of the wrecks very quickly here, regardless of where you're at. I mean, you could be 9 seconds back of it, but at 130 miles an hour around this place, that 9 seconds occurs very quickly.
Yeah, caution number 9 or caution number 10, I believe, maybe 11 of the night here on lap 93 is we're almost to the halfway point in this 200 lap race. Justice, the drivers taking the choose cone, and with all that calamity that we just witnessed, I believe that's going to leave us with about 21 trucks left on the lead lap. Devin Hudgens going to be the last truck on the lead lap, as now Waylon Turner, John Fike, William Gay, and Trevor Keith all going to be one. Or I'm sorry, William Gay, John Fike, and Waylon Turner going to be one lap down. Trevor Keith 4 laps down. As Kyle Diaz has called it a night, along with Scott Negus, Daryl Johnson, Jacob Sergovich, Alex Berube, Joe Joya, and Jake Williams have all parked it for the night. I believe Dominic Hughes still getting some damage repaired. He was one of the trucks involved in that last incident, as well as the pace car lights are off. Justice, the question is going to be, will we see a long green flag run? When will the 03 machine have to pit? Or when will the next caution strike? Is Kevin Orlando now going to be the first truck on that inside line?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, it'd be tough if I was him not to pit right here, knowing that the 25 truck, who was one of the severely damaged trucks early in the race, is restarting 11th right here, 12th. So, yeah, you're starting to pile up a bunch of junked trucks as you get further back in the field. So, pitting at this point, you probably could just drive by a whole bunch of trucks, but we're going to see how long the strategy plays out for him. He launches a little earlier than normal that time, playing the game. Kind of got him used to one thing, said, all right, boys, time to try a little something different.
Tried something different and it worked, but Kevin Orlando is going to be the truck up to second place, and this is one of the 27 machine's favorite racetracks. Is usually pretty good around the track or around Bristol. A little bit of contact further in the back with the 89 machine, or I'm sorry, the 86 of Joseph Gingeron almost got wrecked through 1 and 2, but he keeps it straight and keeps it green. And here's Frank Hughes trying to work his way back up to the front of the field just after he got spun early on, trying to do battle with the two of Jack Clemens, who we haven't talked about a lot tonight, as he's up 10 spots from where he qualified, having a good run for himself.
Yeah, we now see this top 10 kind of sorting itself out. I say that, and then Frank Hughes immediately to the inside of Jack Clemens, trying to steal away 5th place and then start hunting down that 00 of Tyler Harrison, who now, it appears his pit crew has done a fantastic job on that rear clip, Trevor. They have gotten that thing beat back out to straight. But yeah, we see the 61. Oh, and he gets loose there. This time no contact, so a little less likely. And he goes all the way around. Going to end up back on the track, and that will be a caution.
The unfortunate thing, you get spun around there, get a little bit heat built up in the tires, and there's no saving it from that point. Does a great job getting it locked down, but unfortunately there for Frank, going to go from battling inside the top 5 Justice now to being back there in about 20th position. So we got to look here, just exit at turn number 4, just gets loose. Does a really good job getting merged back on here, but just the truck just never back under control. There's a nice little spin back up there, and that could have been big. Peyton Presley up into the wall, a couple of other trucks into the outside wall trying to avoid it, but that could have been a whole lot worse of an incident than it was.
Yeah, lucky not to end up with a bunch of trucks involved there. And at this point, Trevor, I'm not sure the 03 is going to have to stop at all.
I mean, 75% fuel, it probably. I mean, you're probably close at this point.
I mean, at the rate you're getting the cautions, I just I don't know that he intends to pit. Period. I think Rob just said it in our ear there. Your game at this point is you pit here, or you've basically made your bet of I think it's going to keep going this way, and my clutch pedal is going to save me enough fuel that it's not going to matter.
Yeah, Caleb Gilbert down pit road, Dustin Adams, Jeremy Burns, Caleb the only one in the top 10, and then everybody outside the top 10 all down pit road for various reasons: fuel, tires, damage repair, combination of all 3 as drivers down pit road. But yeah, I think you're right. It was 200 laps. 75% fuel should get you about 100 and what'd you say, 125?
No, it's probably not getting them that much. I'd say it probably, if they go green, it probably would have got him around 85 to 90. But I mean, they've run so many laps under caution. If you keep running them at this rate, you either run out of time in the session which I don't think is a problem, or you just never run out of fuel. To be honest, I mean, you can clutch it around here, especially down the straightaways, and basically just roll the entire straightaway, especially as the leader, without any real pressure on the throttle to burn anything. Get off in the corner, you maybe have to pedal it a little bit just to keep it rolling, but no, I legitimately think, Trevor, that his bet at this point is it's just going to keep going 1 or 2 laps and then caution. You basically made your bet of I think I can go the whole way. So by not pitting there, you make it where you have such a short amount of time to come back through the field once you do pit. Because at this point, there's going to be a lot of guys that won't pit again, especially if we keep catching cautions. So the minute he pits, he buries himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough call, whatever he does decide to do. And we're just have to wait and see. He's got to, I mean, 80, what is he, 103 laps out there right now. Tires been heat cycled now, I believe, 11 times as we're working our 11th caution of the night. So we'll wait and see what's going to happen to the O3 machine of Clint Cox. But give a quick shout out again to Coastal Financial, Slurp Sodas, and of course us over here at the Revo Racing Network for jumping on board and sponsoring tonight's race for the Revo Network 200. Coastal Financial for being the primary sponsor and jumping on board for the inaugural season of the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series. And of course, Slurp Sodas as well for being an associate sponsor. We'd like to thank everybody and both of those companies for jumping on board and helping these guys kick off the truck season. Been a little bit of a rocky race here tonight, Justice, but the first 3 weeks of the season, we started with Daytona, Nashville, and last week at Charlotte have all given us exciting racing. Tonight at Bristol, we kind of expected a little bit of a mayhem with it being a short track. Maybe not as much mayhem tonight, but we're halfway through the race. Still got about 95 laps to go to see how this one's going to be settled out, and excited to see how this one might finish out.
Yeah, Trevor, I would love to see a little 20-lap run. If that's all we get for a green flag run, I'd be happy. We could just get 20 of them in a row, because I just want to see who's actually got the pace, like who's hiding something, and gonna make their way up. At this point, we've seen the 91 come back to 8th, so the 03 there. If Clint Cox gets a great launch again, just kind of gapping these boys, and boys keep wrecking behind me, and I'll just keep leading all the laps. As the top 3 sorted out, we see Kevin Orlando maybe take a peek, and he's going to kind of stay where he is, battle for 4th and 5th there. Rages on with 34 in the 2 machines and the 48 peeking his nose in there.
Yeah, Clint Cox, the only driver tonight that we've talked to tonight that hasn't had trouble directly after talking to us. So we'll see if he can hold on to that one. Parker Johnson trying to move back up through the field after he had contact with the 3 machine of Justin Hughes. There's Wayne Lowe, who was up front. We were bragging about Justice, who then got right after that got caught up in an incident. Now working his way back through the field. Caleb Gilbert just came down pit road, trying to work his way forward. As the 00 Tyler Harrison up into the outside wall and slow on the exit of turn number 4. Not sure what happened to him, but he's going to keep it up in the wall and let drivers go by. This might bring out a caution, and nope, he's going to get it off the wall and bring it down pit road. So issues for the 00, the man who was running second, Justice, and that's going to hand it back over to Kevin Orlando. Wayne Lowe gets up into the wall as he had contact with the 91 of Michael Reed. Let everybody stay straight and we stay green.
Yeah, these guys starting to maybe sort it out a little bit here. I think you get down to looks like maybe about 25 total cars on track as Tyler Harrison pulls off there. We see a little bit of bumping further back as the 5 nearly loses it himself. As we go on board here, I believe this is with the 48. Yes, of Parker Johnston. And we do finally get that caution, Trevor, but we got about 6 laps. Looks like the 5 finally did polish it off, and he actually polished it off. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's going to be the 5 machine of Chris Stamper that is now a modified and actually no longer has an engine, as that has left the service. As you see the trail of smoke exiting the 5 machine as he worked his way down pit road. But here we go. Replay of what happened to Chris Stamper as he goes through 3 and 4, just gets loose, overcorrects, and that's a heck of a wreck there. You see John Fight gets by, but a heck of a contact for the 5 machine of Stamper Justice through the middle of 3 and 4.
Yeah, he was having some issues before that as I was kind of filtering through the field with the front kind of singled out a little bit. He got to the bottom and almost lost it as he made contact with the rear of somebody. I couldn't tell which truck it was, but just kind of cost him. As we're going to go back and look at what happened to the 00 Tyler Harrison. Yeah, loose then the wall had a snack and just kind of held him up there. It's a little iRacing glitch.
Yeah, the wall said, "Hey, I need to take a little bit of a lunch break here," and catches the 00 and decides to eat the right side off that truck. But Harrison down pit road to get that fixed, and pit stops for a lot of our top 10 there. Justice, Clint Cox, Wayne Lowe stay out. Cox again. I mean, if you were going to pit, this was the time to do it. Majority of the field down pit road, but he'll again pit strategy, going to stay out there, clean air, short runs. The more and more he does it, the more and more I don't hate this call.
I really think that he's under the impression he's not going to have to pit. And to be honest, Trevor, he's either not going to have to pit or he's going to be the only truck on the lead lap at some point. That seems to be where it's headed. Um, as we see things happening. But yeah, we'll see what happens on this lineup. Maybe Caleb Gilbert gives him a little run on particularly better tires, better fuel. We would have to believe. I mean, I'm thinking at this point, Caleb definitely has enough fuel to make it, Trevor. Just based on the last time he was in the pits was 13 laps ago. So even if it went green from here, I think Caleb would basically have enough fuel.
Yeah, I think Wayne Lowe's probably good on fuel, and then everybody below them who's made a pit stop going to be good on fuel. The question is going to be, is the 03 going to be good on fuel? We think he's going to be, but we aren't 100% sure. And right now, Wayne Lowe, last pit on lap 82, Caleb Gilbert, Al Likens, Joseph Gendron, all pit on lap 101, followed by Devin Hudgens on 103, Waylon Turner, Grant Thorpe, as well as on 102 and 103, and the rest of the field about on lap 114. So, I mean, a lot of competition he's got to hold off, Justice, on a lot fresher tires, and yes, he's heat cycled those under the 12 cautions we had, but eventually you would think new tires will have the advantage. The problem is, I don't know if we're going to get a long enough run for them to take that advantage.
You have to run longer than 4 laps at a time for the new tires to even matter. So, yeah, a little concern there. I think has to creep in the 03 camp, but the only way he makes it is if they keep getting cautions like this. So for his sake, he just wants to keep launching and them keep wrecking in the back. I mean, you got trucks in the top 6 right now that look like they don't belong in the top 25. When I'm looking at this 86 machine of Joseph Gendron, I mean, this thing is beat up. That left rear is kind of dented in. The middle of the back is dented in worse than what Tyler Harrison's was. So, yeah, I mean, these trucks are beat up, Trevor, and just making their way back forward. So, I don't even know what to say about it at this point. But the 03 may just play the prolonged, hey, I don't ever have to pit because you boys keep wrecking strategy.
See if it works out for him. Joseph with a great run for himself. This would be the best run of his short career here in the RR Truck Series, as he currently runs in the fifth position there. See if he can hold on to that and get himself a good top 10 finish here tonight. It's going to be Clint Cox, Caleb Gilbert on the fresher tires. Going to lead us back to the green flag. Pace car pulls off in the Geico restart zone we go. And again, a little bit of a late jump for the 03 machine. Is now Wayne Lowe, Caleb Gilbert. It's going to be the battle for second as they head through 1 and 2. But Gilbert on those fresher tires, then the 34 clear. And now going to try to chase down a race leader and give him the first battle that he's had pretty much all night long.
Yeah, I mean, has to happen. The 2-car goes around, and the 48 goes around in front of him. So, kind of interesting there. It looked like the 2-car started that, and then 48 maybe got a little punty there, and it got hit. So, 2-car goes around in traffic. A few others make contact. Just kind of goes where it goes.
Yeah, we're gonna look here as they go through 3 and 4. A little bit of a punt from the 48 of Parker Johnson, sends the 2 around. And the 2 retaliates by getting the rear bumper up into the 48, sends him around. Jeremy Burns caught up in that, as well as a couple more drivers, as we work caution number 13 here on lap 121. Justice, and plays right into the 03 machine's hands here as we get another look at this caution.
Yeah, it just looked like a little bit of a misjudge there, Parker Johnston. But once that two truck goes around, I mean, you always hear tracks are self-cleaning when they got all this banking on the corners. The problem is a lot of times your momentum just carries you up the track first, which is about as dangerous as it can be because you're just right back in traffic. As he clips the 48, and then the 25 and a couple others kind of get involved there late. So again, the 03 is just salivating, saying, "Hey, y'all are just playing my cards for me. I don't have to do anything." And at this point, Trevor, the way this man's luck's rolling, I'm betting on him to win the World Series of Poker in July.
Right? It's kind of how it feels. But as we work our 13th caution, we're going to take another quick commercial break to give our sponsors a quick shout out, and we will be right back for the restart.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Revo Racing Network for the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series here tonight at Bristol. So we work our 13th caution of the night, pace car getting ready to flick the lights off. But hey, if you want more great racing action, tune in Thursday night as we here at the Revo Racing Network cover the TTR Short Track Series presented by Highland Homes Roofing as they get ready to finish their elimination round of 3 in the playoffs at the Bull Ring Justice to set us up for their 5 drivers that are going to run for a championship race at New Hampshire in 2 weeks. That'll be an exciting race as well. Check out the Racing Revolution Cup Series over on the V-Speed YouTube channel for their Wednesday night racing action as they get ready to head to the Concrete Monster Mile at Dover on Wednesday night. But for here tonight, we're working lap 125 of 200 for the Revo Network 200. Here tonight at Bristol, Clint Cox has been the leader pretty much from the drop of the green flag and has led every lap as he's still yet to make a pit stop. And right here on the restart gets a great jump over the 34 machine of Wayne Lowe. Caleb Gilbert on the fresher tires, though, going to try to track him down. But the problem's been we haven't gotten a long green flag run. Will the 54 finally get one and run him down as they work their way through 3 and 4?
Yeah, top 5 kind of sorted out. And then we see the 40 get up into the wall there. Trevor gets a little tight, but they've still kind of sorted this out. And you got a little stack up basically from 7th on back, starting at Grant Thorpe. And the guys behind him there, the 48 of Parker Johnson, the 86 of Joseph Gendron. And another guy we see working his way back forward after some, a great qualifying effort, EOL from last week, and then a crash there, the 91 creeping his way back into the top 10. And we get another caution here, Trevor, as the 2 car is around, and there's another car parked on pit road.
A 2 machine. Jack Clemens goes around, another one of the drivers that received an EOL tonight, worked his way up inside the top 5 at one point and has been caught up in the last 2 cautions, I believe, for himself. But Michael Reed, Grant Thorpe, Justice, one of those drivers, as we get a look here, what happened, Peyton Presley, one of the drivers up into the wall. But here through 3 and 4, the 3 machine gets loose, nowhere for the 2 to go, gives the punt to the 3 of Justin Hughes on the pit road. And Jack Clement's going to have some front-end damage that he's got to deal with. But one of the cases of just nowhere to go.
Yeah, intriguing there. But yeah, we're going to bring the 54 driver up. You see the 03 finally going to pit road So we're bringing up what's about to be our new race leader, Caleb Gilbert. Welcome to the booth, buddy.
Oh, thanks for having me, fellas.
Yeah, long night so far. The 03, we see him finally kind of admit defeat to the strategy. How are you looking on fuel? I'm guessing basically good to the end at this point, huh?
Yeah, I'm good to the end. Kind of played it out. I wanted to come at caution sooner, the one on 93, and then couldn't make up my mind. Did the next one. So that worked out in that regard. I'm surprised he went this long without pitting. I thought for sure lap 100 split it in half. That was right on the number then if we miraculously went green, and that's not happening. So yeah, it worked out so far, and he's really quick, so we'll see. He'll probably drive back up here. But I like seeing no button in front of me. That feels good.
Well, Caleb, I mean, everybody we've brought up here, we've asked, and it does not look like what you would expect the truck to handle like. So what's it like from your perspective out there tonight?
In practice, it was terrible. It didn't really drive like a truck. It was really, you would get loose in if you didn't use any brake, and then if you used any brake, you'd lose it in the middle of the corner. So kind of found the perfect spot in the track to where that didn't apply to me. It also helps a lot of these guys are probably running 150%. I don't think I've ran a lap more than 80% this whole race, so that fixes that issue in itself.
Well, Caleb, just you got another question?
No, go ahead. Send him on home. I don't want to take too much from him here.
Well, Caleb, we wish you luck. Hopefully you can hang on to it. We'll be talking to you at the end of this thing, but we'll send you back to your team.
Thank y'all.
You'll see, maybe for if he were to survive up here in the lead, I think if he probably about 6 more caution flags the way it's gone tonight. If it really goes that way, they should definitely be ringing the sirens down in Dawsonville for Caleb Gilbert there, because it'd be a long, strenuous night there behind the monitors.
We might have to put in a call for him down to the pool hall, Justice, just for that, to let him know what happened for a hometown driver for Caleb. But he's going to be leading us back to the green flag, and Waylon Turner now going to be the man to his inside. Then you got Wayne Lowe, Grant Thorpe, who's been caught up in a couple of cautions, been able to get that truck repaired with the amount of cautions we had tonight. He's now back up into the top 5. Al Likens, Joseph Gendron, Devin Hudgens as well up there. As Clint Cox, Justice looks like he's going to restart all the way down in 16th position, and that's essentially going to be the hornet's nest for that 03 machine.
Yeah, it's basically been where the wrecks have started from tonight, Trevor. So we're going to see if he can navigate that. Caleb said he's pretty confident that the 03 can get back up there, but that is a lot of confidence in the competitors around him, which at this point tonight, these guys have looked a little bit sketchy. Again, the truck's a little ill handling. I think at some point here, with about 65 to go when we go green, tempers are going to run short. Guys are going to get tired of this and only encourage more wrecking, more, contact. So we'll see here is we're going to see somebody besides the 03 launch from that outside lane, see if Caleb can time this upright, get that same gap like the 03 was getting.
First time tonight, we've seen a different leader up front. It's Caleb Gilbert going to lead us back to the green flag. He's going to have Waylon Turner to his inside, and Caleb Gilbert gets a excellent restart, already clear into turn number 1. And here comes Waylon Turner, Wayne Lowe. They're going to battle for second side by side, and Turner trying to get clear, just not quite. That battle for second still continues into 3 and 4 as the field tries to figure out where they want to be as the restart starts to work its way out.
Yeah, the 40 of Al Likens creeping his way back forward as well here, Trevor, as he's trying to peek to that outside of Waylon Turner, get a run, and it got real tight there, but the 30 able to squeeze his way back in the line, so that falls in, and we got a battle for 5th.
Oh, they're wrecking on the back stretch?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, and just continuing to make contact there. Yeah, that's tough there. Joseph Gendron having a pretty good run there for himself. Looks like he gets spun around. A couple other trucks pile in. He is now running Ryan Priest's favorite car, Trevor.
Yeah, and right here we're going to look at it. Just a little bit of contact, drift up just a little bit over the nose, I believe. That was either the 91 of Michael Reed or the 99 of Michael Call. One of the two machines caught up in that one is the 86, just nowhere to go. And Justice, I feel like the curse of the commentator. Everybody we've talked to tonight, apart from Caleb Gilbert, Clint Cox, has been caught up in a caution at some point, either right after we talked to them or shortly thereafter we've talked to them. And Joseph now just another driver caught up in that. As you see, the 25, nowhere to go for himself of Dustin Adams. Gets caught up in that as E6 just nice slow spin down, and there goes his front bumper.
Yeah. I think you know how we cure this, Trevor. I think we pull up the 30th place driver of Jake Williams, who is about 58 laps down or so, or see, he looks like he's 63 laps down. Maybe we pull him up in the booth. Can't curse a guy that's already 63 laps down. As I think the producer has green lighted that. Jake Williams, welcome to the booth.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on, buddy? We've been the commentators' curse tonight, and everybody we've brought up has had bad luck. So I brought up the idea of bringing up the guy that was a few laps down and maybe talking to him.
Listen, could you guys stay away from me then? I just sat through about 30 minutes of required repairs to try to make up some positions, so I could use all the good luck.
I mean, that's dedication. We saw you caught up, I believe, was it the second caution, caught up in it, the motor got blown, you had to tow, but
Yes, sir.
you stick it out, you're back out there, gaining some spots. I mean, is that just a plan to go out here, log the laps, and see how many spots you can pick off before the end of this thing?
That's all I've got going right now.
Well, hey, I know you won't be there Wednesday night. I know you're going on vacation, so I'm sure you're looking forward to that, especially after how this race has gone tonight.
Oh, listen, I could use a vacation after Bristol, but that's just short track racing, ain't that what everybody says?
It's something like that, Jake. Well, we appreciate you stopping up here tonight. Good luck in getting as many spots as you can tonight, and we'll let you go back up to your team.
I appreciate you guys.
Well, there you go. Justin doesn't want any more bad luck. Wants all the free spots he can get, and wants to go. I believe he's going to be on the beach somewhere in the next couple of days. So I'm sure he's ready for that one.
I'm gonna tell you what. I sure hope it's an open bar vacation, Trevor. After tonight,
Sipping something strong, I think, is the lyrics there.
Oh man, yeah. Oh yeah, tough night, but gotta keep the spirits high. Great to see him stick around here. He's gonna pick up. It looks like at least 5 more spots there in front of him as I see guys out that will clear enough laps that he would get to them. So he's gonna get probably up to about a 24th place finish if he can just keep the nose clean from here to the end on that 51 machine. So you don't normally see a lot of guys stick out a full engine repair, but Jake, one of those rare characters, man. He's fun. So good of him. Stick around, pick up some spots, pick up some points. He's trying to steal some on him tonight.
Hey, why not? You're running for all the points you can get. Why not stick it out? Drivers who leave, you can pick up the free spots, and that's exactly what he's done. As pace car getting ready to come down to 1 to go before we get to the green flag, and Clint Cox made it through that last wreck. Little update on the man who pretty much dominated the whole race. He's now going to be in 14th position on the inside line behind Chris Schaefer in the 23 to the inside of the 99 machine of Michael Call. You see right there. Made it through that last drag, Justice, but still in that area that's the hornet's nest, so to speak. He's got a lot of aggressive drivers in front of him, and still not quite out of the woods yet for that 03 machine.
I'm just calling it now, Trevor. I don't think he finishes the race, and I hope I'm wrong. But yeah, he's in that zone, man. Some of these guys getting more aggressive. And at some point, it's going to come back to bite him. But see the 54 with a great launch again. Gets a pretty big lead. Looks like the 30 car, Waylon Turner, missed a shift. As he is falling way back after that restart. But back up to that battle for 4th. The 91 going to clear the 84. We see that 91 truck. He is a man on a mission. After taking his EOL from the pole, going to the back, getting involved in the first wreck. Taking probably, 10 minutes, more than likely, total of optional repairs based off of how much it had. But this truck looks like it's brand new and ready to fly, Trevor.
Yeah, looking pretty good. Big move to the inside now. The 40 machine of Al Likens, who's having a great run, but Al kind of covers him off there. Keeps that momentum checked up on the 91 machine, and Reed just going to have to sit and wait. And this is a man who had a really good run at Nashville as well, Justice, and came up a couple of positions short. Now trying to make up for that as he still tries to fight with the 40 of Al Likens. Wayne Lowe also catching up. And Frank Hughes back up in the 61 machine. He's back up there in the top 5 as the 61's kind of had an up and down night. As a little bit of contact made back in the field. One truck sideways. It's the 99 machine of Michael Call. Everybody
Guess
keeps it
who
straight.
was involved pretty heavily, Trevor?
I would guess by the sound of it, you can see the damage on the rear end of it and a little bit of damage on the right front. But the 03 of Clint Cox caught up in this incident that brings out our latest caution of the night here on lap 149. We're going to replay of pulled up as to what caused this, Justice. But you saw it better than I did, so walk us through it.
Yeah, this was a little disagreement over real estate. 99 gets a little loose. 03 tries to slide up under him here. Doesn't quite hold it down as well as he would like to. Gets up, gets that left rear call. Call just fighting it there, makes contact, gets him in the wall. And contact all the way around. 99 gets spun. That's what finally brings the caution out. But damage to that 03 truck. Now, we've seen Tyler Harrison, among others. Tyler Harrison was the most notable as we talked to him specifically about the rear damage. We've seen a lot of guys take that rear damage just right there in the middle, and it continued to be okay. So I would expect more of the same here from Clint Cox, but not very conducive to making your way back to the front if you're back there making enemies in the back. And making contact like that can make you enemies a lot faster than it can make you friends.
That it can, but what'll help get him up there? A couple trucks making pit stops. Wayne Lowe, one of those, as well as the 65 of John Fike. And speaking of the 34 machine of Wayne Lowe, it's Trevor and Justice up in the booth, man. How you doing tonight?
Hi.
All right. Well, I gotta ask, Wayne. I mean, at what point do you give up, go outside, take a smoke break, and come back and just get your laps back from Lucky Dogs
So-
with all these cautions?
The biggest problem I have here is that the cautions aren't long enough for me to smoke a whole cigarette. That's my biggest problem here tonight. I mean, otherwise, just falling asleep. You know.
I mean, you're trying to tell us, Wayne, you don't enjoy the fabulous new eye pacing update that they came out with?
My left foot is numb from holding the clutch.
That's understandable. I mean, I know we haven't gotten a lot of green flag racing out there tonight to really get a judge on it, but in the few short handfuls of laps, 5 to 6 that we've been racing, I mean, how does it feel racing side by side with somebody out there?
I mean, I really wasn't ready for it the first time we got a 5-6 lap. I got loose and like people behind me piled into a crash. But I mean, other than that, it's all right. Once you get the hang of it, I guess.
Well, Wayne, we wish you luck. We know you just made a pit stop, so good luck coming back up through the field, and we'll send you back to your team for the rest of this thing.
Thanks, bud.
The man, the myth, the panda legend, Justice. And for anybody who doesn't know that reference, the memes in Discord from that man are on an absolutely different level.
Yeah, the expectations in the I guess the truck series, it's the Octagon, Trevor. My expectations are high tonight of what we might get from Wayne Lowe in the Octagon, but we see an interesting thing here on the choose is Dylan Picklesheimer probably just gained about 5 rows with how many trucks in a row chose the outside. And I'm going to tell you what you're going to see here, Trevor. As we see a little bit of bumping going on in the back, I know we're kind of up at the front watching, but the 99 showing some displeasure with the 03 before we even go green.
I mean, short track racing, that's things that are going to happen. We'll see if there's anything to come of it. Caleb Gilbert with a great start. Michael Reed trying to get through as well. He's clear of Al Likens. Frank Hughes now going to go to battle. See Grant Thorpe there as well, trying to find a way through with Kevin Orlando, trying to follow suit as well as the field starts to work out this restart. One truck sideways in the back. Caution's back out as driver's sideways. John Fike on the radio. And the 7 there caught up in at the 44 of William Gay. John Fike, Wayne Lowe, the man we just talked to. The commentator's curse continues. The drivers we talked to just come across issues. Justice, as we'll get a replay pulled up and see what happened to bring out our 17th caution of the night.
I'm just trying to think about who we want to curse next as we're going to go to this replay. Oh, don't tell me the 51 got involved. Oh, he checks up. Oh, thank God Jake got through it, but yeah.
Nope,
nope. It's Wayne. Dang it. Yeah, it just looked like a couple guys getting loose, maybe some door-to-door contact. and then all of a sudden you're spun around parked on the track. So that looks like that's what brings out the 17th caution tonight. As we're going to get another ride along here. Yeah, let's.
I think Wayne just got loose. Oh,
Yeah, no, yeah, you
Peyton-
get some separate things going on there. Is
Peyton
Peyton gets
Presley.
loose in the middle of the straightaway, Trevor?
Yeah, I think Peyton's loose by himself. That's a solo car incident. But I think for Wayne, cold tires, just a little bit loose. Maybe foot was still asleep from holding the clutch down, and 34 machine goes around. Contact made with a couple other drivers in that. But with this caution, we can give a quick shout out to the rate, or we'll give you a quick rundown of the schedule. So this week, tonight, we're at Bristol. Next week, Watkins Glen. Then we go to Darlington, Richmond, an off week. Then we go to the Talladega, Dover, and then to finish it out, Justice, Homestead, Miami.
Yeah, a couple of really good racetracks. Dover, don't let Dover fool you. It will not be like this at Dover, I don't believe, Trevor. Normally the trucks can get spread out pretty nicely at Dover, and you see a lot less incident-wise going on. So I expect that to be sorted out. But yeah, we're going to go from this week where we're working our 17th caution about 3/4 of the way through the race to Watkins Glen next week, where you get one singular caution, and that's the stage break, Trevor. So be sure to be tuned in for that. The trucks typically put on a great road course product. You get a lot of wheel hopping, guys sliding around. These things do not exactly love the hard braking it takes, but that's what makes them so fun to really maneuver around those road courses. And you think we're coming to the choose perhaps here, Trevor? Or else we're getting a joke played on us by Rob, which is what it appears has happened.
Our producer up there with the jokes, dude, trying to keep us on our toes. But we'll give a quick shout out to Coastal Financial, who's the primary sponsor here for the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series, whose goal is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering their clients to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial potential. You can find the Coastal Financial at coastalfinancial.com, and of course on Facebook at Coastal Financial. We'd also like to thank Slurp Sodas, who's located in Scottsdale, Arizona, and whose truck roams the vibrant streets of the greater Phoenix area, adding a splash of flavor to your day. Discover them parked at local hotspots from downtown corners, community events, serving up their signature lineup of refreshing sodas and invigorating energy drinks. For general information or to order catering, visit their website at slurpsodas.com. You can also find them on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Slurp Sodas. Refreshingly different, Justice, as we get lined up here for the restart.
Yeah, we see that 91 on the front row for the first time since they pulled out of the pits early on in the race here, Trevor, and I think this is his time to shine. We see him get there and make his way forward, waiting to see if he can complete the front to front challenge, perhaps, as we might call it. The 61 truck also anxious to maybe get up there and lead some laps. So getting down to crunch time here, Trevor. 40 to go right there, so go green with about 39 to go. I would love to see this go green the rest of the way, just because we finally get to see who's who, man. Who's the man who can go out there and make these tires work for them and really put a hurting on the field.
Never say never. You never know what you're going to get. If this thing goes green, I mean, that would be a great way to finish it. But I mean, if it keeps getting cautions like this, we'll see a lot of aggressive driving at the end, knowing that, hey, a 3 or 4 lap run could be all that you're going to get. You got to make all the moves you can. So either way is going to be exciting. But right now, Caleb Gilbert, Michael Reed going to lead us back to the green flag. And Caleb Gilbert with a great jump. Michael Reed going to be clear of the 61 of Frank Hughes as he jumps up to block the 61 machine and gets to that outside line. Grant Thorpe now going to be up into 5th position. He's going to look for a spot as they were almost 3 wide for second on the exit of turn number 2. But here they go through 3 and 4. Justice and Grant Thorpe on the move.
Yeah, Grant Thorpe trying to make his move here. You know, he wants to win here at Bristol for sure, as being a Tennessee boy himself. So he is to the inside now. This 91 truck sending it. Interested to see that 77 truck has been lightly involved in a few incidents today, but looks like they've got that DG machine back in mint condition. As for now, he is giving up second to Michael Reed, but he's kind of just hanging around. We'll see if he can maintain that and make his run here.
One truck with a moment off the exit of turn number 2 is 0-3 to Clint Cox, but one truck with a bigger moment on the exit of turn number 4 is going to be the 3. I believe that was the 2 machine. of Jet Clemens, who gets down to the inside wall, and the pattern repeats itself, Justice, of about 4 laps. And caution strikes. It's going to be caution number 18 for the night as the 2 machine exits turn number 4, loses it, and goes hard to the inside wall. And here we go. Oh, drifts up into the 9 at Picklesheimer, but no contact made. But kind of a repeat, Justice. The truck just unloads and hard contact with the inside wall.
Let's say rinse, repeat for the 4th time tonight, Trevor. And for anybody that watches the Truex short track series that we do on Thursday nights, I'm going to make this reference, but I think he should paint a 66 on that truck at this point, Trevor, with shades of Robbie Walton.
Yeah, Robbie Walton being the man who wrote a memoir and got a movie all produced in one race a couple of races ago. But the man now in the booth, the driver of the 77 machine, Grant Thorpe. Grant, Trevor, and Justice up in the booth. You've had an eventful night. You started at the front. You went to the back. You got involved in a couple of incidents. You're back at the front, man. How's the truck doing out there tonight?
I'm getting really good at running pace laps, so that's fun. Yeah, just kind of got caught up in a wreck trying to pit before the stage and hope to get track position somehow that way, and got caught up in a wreck because of it. Got a bunch of damage fixed, and now we're just rolling around up to 3rd somehow.
Well, buddy, I'm going to apologize now because you're going to finish about 14th after talking to us. That seems to be how it's going for everybody that has talked to us at this point. But
targeting, jeez.
Yeah. When you do get rolling here, I mean, how's the truck feeling? We've heard a multitude of different things, but all the same, that truck's pretty loose. We've heard people say it doesn't even feel like a race car. So if we can get maybe 15, 20 laps, how do you feel about the truck?
I've been running the bottom, and it feels pretty good. It's not terribly loose. I think the loose is just people having too much wheel in it, running the high side, and it unloads and snaps on the exit. But running the bottom, it hasn't been too bad. If we get a green flag, I'm hoping it works for me. We'll work decent on that restart, but we'll see.
Well, Grant, we wish you luck, and hopefully we're talking to you at the end of this thing. But we'll send you back to the team, or back to your team.
All right, sounds good. Hope to talk to you soon.
The driver of the 77 machine, Grant Thorpe, he's going to roll off on this restart in 3rd, Justice, and sounding pretty confident there. One of the few drivers we've talked to that actually sounds pretty confident.
Yeah, a lot of kind of shades of Caleb Gilbert there, though, right? Don't full send the truck. Don't try to oversteer it. Rob and I have had this discussion, our producer, about, there is a middle pedal down there that you can use to turn the truck. You don't have to just use the right front tire of the steering wheel, as we see a lot of guys doing, and Grant's suspicious that that's what's causing the problem. So we'll see what he's got as he flips around, takes the high side here, perhaps thinking that he can get a good launch, clear the 91 truck, and then make his run to try to pass Caleb.
Yeah, we'll see how it's going to work out for him. We're going to have at least one more pace lap as the drivers try to catch the field, and we'll give you a quick update. We had 33 drivers start the night out. Handful of drivers out of this race up to that of Kyle Diaz. So from 27th down to 33rd, all out of the race. Jake Williams is going to be the driver in 26th, still rolling around out there. Actually, Chris Stamper has called it a night. I believe William Gay has called it a night. And Jet Clements has called it a night. As I believe, actually, we're back under green. We didn't get that extra pace lap, so excuse me, but we're wrecking in the back already. Wayne Lowe in the 3 machine of, I believe it's going to be Justin Hughes caught up in that on the restart as there was just a huge checkup. And the 51, Jake Williams, also getting woed up in that. Oh, and the 61 of Frank Hughes spun around.
Oh, gosh, we got all kind of stuff going on here. Trevor, we go to the caution replay. Yeah, big stack up there starting with the 9 truck. It kind of accordions back. 34 ends up spun around there. Looks like maybe the 9 of Dylan Picklesheimer missed a shift. And it just kind of caused that. And then we go up forward here and see what happened to the 61 truck. Oh my gosh, big contact with the 91. Gets him spun around head on into the wall. That is super unfortunate there from Michael Reed.
Yeah, Michael Reed, Frank Hughes. I mean, Reed was doing such a good job working his way back up through the field, and we just missed that one. And heavy contact. That's probably going to be a race ender for the 91 machine. Justice is see him there limping around, and I believe a little bit of smoke coming out the rear end of that machine, which means anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes of required damage. He's got to get that motor repaired.
Yeah, he all he did was go back out there and wet the track. It's a good thing the speedy dry works quick in iRacing, but yeah, looks like they just checked up because I'm assuming it looks like the caution was already out there, judging by the other trucks' pace around them, and it looks like the 91 and the 61 had a little disagreement about where to start checking up. 91 was a little loose, but yeah, it's kind of into the right rear, sends him up into the wall, and tough break there again. Michael Reed completing, as I said, the front to back to front challenge, and just to end it like that, it's got to be a brutal way for the night to finish there.
That's a tough break, but we're going to work this caution, and we're going to talk to somebody, Justice, that nobody ever really hears from. You might hear from him Wednesday nights when he's running up front at the end of the races, when he's not, making choose cone errors or getting involved in incidents. But we're going to talk to our producer, Rob Rader, and Rob, you just kind of sit there in the background. You don't say much, but that the people can hear, but we hear you all the time in our ears. But walk us through the broadcast, how things are going, and your view on this race tonight. As actually, I don't know if Rob, I might have put him on the spot here, and he might not be able to unmute himself to where the fans can hear him, Justice. But
That's okay. We can talk bad about him if that's the case. That's perfect.
He can't defend.
How about now? There we go. Right. Now everybody can unfortunately hear me.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, it's going great. I'm on my 4th energy drink to stay awake. Unfortunately, it's been one of those races, but we'll see. We got 25 to go. Maybe we'll get some green flag racing in.
I like our odds here with the 3 at the front. If we could copy and paste them through the field, it would probably go green the rest of the way. I guess my biggest question is when we come to Bristol, Rob, what's your thought process if you're Caleb Gilbert here? Are you praying for cautions? Are you praying for a rain out? I mean, what are you thinking here?
I want as little racing as possible, so if I'm him, I'm okay with the constant cautions. Grant is super fast on the short run here and everything he runs, so he's also good at getting good restarts, so we'll see what happens here. But if Grant gets side by side with him into 1, I've been there before, it could get interesting.
As green flags back out, restart underway, and Grant Thorpe not going to be side by side with the 54 machine of Caleb Gilbert. We're going to try to go to the outside and get the momentum on that outside line, and now go for the crossover move. Battle for the lead, first one we've seen all night long under green flag conditions, and here comes Grant Thorpe to the inside. 54 machine of Caleb Gilbert, but don't look too far behind him. The 27 of Kevin Orlando, another driver who loves the short track of Bristol, getting involved in this. This is a 3-way battle for the lead as they go into 3 and 4.
Yeah, Rob warned it. You gotta watch out for that 77 lurking. But the 27 going to get to his outside and make this even tougher for Grant to stay down there and make something happen. And we get our 20th caution of the night here, Trevor. As you see the 30 truck around, 34, 7 involved, and let's get a replay fired up from our wonderful producer that everybody just heard from, and see what happened.
Yeah, looked like I saw it on the tail end of my screen. The 30 machine, Waylon Turner, just gets in a little bit too hot into turn 1 and 2, spins the 30 machine around, and then kind of just nowhere for Wayne Lowe to go, nowhere for Peyton Presley to go, and a night that was going so well for the 34 machine of Wayne Lowe until he talked to us up in here in the booth, just continues to get worse for Wayne as we get an onboard shot here, Justice, of what he got to see.
Yeah, and this is the truck's there, and by the time you react to it, it's just like, all right, well, too late now, and just kind of broadsiding him in broad daylight or broad nightlight maybe here. Maybe by the time this finishes, it'll be daylight in Bristol, Tennessee. But yeah, these boys are trying to make up everything they can. Maybe feeling a little bit of pressure here, but Clint Cox, I do want to mention this, Trevor. He is in 7th at the moment, so kind of working his way back forward. I imagine from the camera view that we have just brought Kevin Orlando into the booth.
That would
be correct, I think.
Yeah, we have the driver of the number 27 machine who's going to be in 2nd place now. Just got by Grant Thorpe there. Kevin, you're up to 2nd. It's been an eventful night for you. I think it's been an eventful night for everybody we've talked to, and I just wanted to warn you, The commentator's curse has been strong tonight, so we wish you the best of luck after we talk to you. But you're up to second. You've been to the back. You've been involved in a couple of incidents, but how are you feeling now?
About as good as I felt at the beginning of the race. Not very. Truck is uncooperative. This setup is not fantastic. Just making the best of it. But the hardest thing all night has been passing. So being here is the best opportunity we've got. So roll with it and see what happens.
Yeah, I think at this point it's a shame that passing under yellow is a penalty because that's probably the most passing we've seen most of the night. What do you need here? Get by this 54 truck and get that Revo Racing Network truck parked in Victory Lane for us.
I need my tires to be nice to me. I've been trying to be nice to them. You know I struggle with that anyway, but just hoping I have enough tire left here to get to the end.
Well, Kevin, we hope you do too. We hope to see some good battle in there at the end. It looked like y'all were gonna have a good little battle there between the three of y'all. But we wish you luck here, Kevin, for the rest of this thing, and we hope to be talking to you at the end of this.
I hope so too. Thank you very much.
Our second place runner currently, Kevin Orlando. And Justice, I hope the curse of the commentator doesn't hit the 27 machine. I don't have hope though that it will not.
Yeah, sometimes, Trevor, you look down and you see things that just really distract you and make you laugh. And our unfortunate 31st place finisher tonight, Jacob Serkovich, sent me a message and said, "Are you going to make the Wednesday night race? I'm not sure." Just kind of the way this is going. A long night for all involved. See some octagon action already popping off, so I expect more of the same as it goes on. But they're getting ready to come to the green flag here, and we'll see what these 27 and 77 trucks have for Caleb Gilbert.
We'll see. Gilbert again on a great launch. Grant Thorpe with a little bit of wheel spin. He's going to get shoved out of line. Trucks scattering down on the apron. Everybody's so far through, but a huge loss for the 40 machine of Al Likens. And Parker Johnson gets turned across the nose of the 03 machine to Clint Cox. They keep it straight. Still green. More contact made as the 03 gets spun around, and Calamity again, turn number 4. And that wreck started in turn number 2 and just took all the way to turn 4 to finish out with a caution.
Man, that is incredible. Those look like the 48 has a blown engine from all of this, but starts with the 03 and the 48 in a disagreement on terms. The 03 gets back into him, sends the 48 into the wall again. It's going to blow his engine. The 03 ends up losing the rear clip cover as well. So quite a bit of harsh contact there for all involved.
Yeah, just tough break for everybody involved as we on board there with the 03 machine, Clint Cox. And Justice, to everybody tuned in tonight, this is one of the things in iRacing. It happens. Every league has a race where just nothing goes right. And I can remember in the early seasons of Racing Revolution, a certain Martinsville race that I think a lot of us still have a little bit of PTSD from. That kind of along the similar lines of this thing, where you got about 4 or 5 laps into a run, and then something were to happen. And it's part of the growing pains of a new league and new drivers, and the combination of setup not working well with the racetrack.
Yeah, I probably, that Martinsville race, I guess, was probably about 20 races in, but I think the one that I recall from season 1 that was this kind of craziness was our Nashville Fairgrounds race, Trevor. And I was lucky enough to qualify on pole, and then tried to kind of play a mix of the Clint Cox strategy and stay out as long as I could, because it was just caution filled, and ended up at some point relegating myself to the back, kind of like what Clint did, and didn't stop me from getting involved in an incident. Was just lucky enough to catch the right cautions and the right runs, and make my way back forward and end up winning that race. But it's just tough because you have to stay so patient. And in the back of your mind, to stay in a race like this, you always have to have the belief that you're going to get that 20, 30, 40 lap run, or maybe we get spread out enough that we go longer than that. That's all you're hoping for the whole time.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out for him. But with this being the 21st caution of the night, we're going to take our last commercial break, a quick break here, and we'll be back as the drivers get ready for the choose cone. Actually, not the choose cone. It is the choose cone. So we're not going to take the commercial break. I thought we had another pace lap there. We're going to stay on board here as we work our 21st caution, Justice. The choose cone's underway, and I saw a bunch of trucks elect to take the top there, and it's going to put now the 4D machine of Al Likens, the first truck on that inside line.
Yeah, basically 3 trucks in a row there with Caleb Gilbert, Kevin Orlando, and John Fike all taking the outside to start there, letting Al Likens go from 4th to restarting inside in the first row there. So we're getting ready. The green flag already up in the air waiting to get waved. Caleb's been launching great. Gets another great launch here again, Trevor.
Gets a good launch there. It's going to be 10 laps to go here as they cross the line. Will we see the 10 laps to the checkered flag? Who knows? As Al Likens gets a little bit of a shove from the 84 machine of Hudgens, who John Fike almost drove into the back of on the corner exit. Fike trying to rebound from an eventful night, but there they go in the back of the field. Chris Schaefer turned off the nose of the 03 of Clint Cox, who makes hard contact to the inside wall. The 99 machine caught up involved in this as well. And there's the caution, Justice, caution number 22 of the nights. And again, just we're running out of laps, running out of patience, and we'll get a look here at what happened between the 03 and the 23.
Yep. 03 looked like he had a very big run there. 23 a little loose, doesn't track all the way out, just kind of tough there as he gets involved, and it sends the 03 into the inside wall. More damage to that 03 truck. His night probably pretty much done as far as winning goes, and then the top 10 maybe out of the question at this point. Yep. Let's see what happened here. Yep. Exactly what I thought there, Trevor.
Yeah, just carried a little bit more speed. Schaefer didn't track out as far, and contact made, and 2 nights that were going relatively well now going to be relegated to the back of the field. And Justice, I believe we're going to pull up the 40 machine. Val Likens currently running third. Al, it's Trevor and Justice up in the booth, man. You're in the top 3. Going to restart here with about 4 or 5 laps to go. How are you feeling about your chances?
Survival at this point. I don't know. 50-50. I've got a chance. I mean, I'm P3. That's all I can ask for.
We've seen the 54 get some pretty great launches here. Do you feel like, having watched it a handful of times now, that you maybe have it timed up, what you think he might be game planning here?
No, I don't think I've got the truck to make the pass on the bottom.
Well, Al, we wish you the best of luck here on what potentially could be the final restart here of the night. We'll send you back to back to your team, and hopefully we're talking to you at the end of this thing.
All right, thank you.
A little bit of happy to be up in third, Justice, but feels like maybe top 3 is about as best as that 40 machine's going to get.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I appreciate the honesty there. Understanding kind of what you got can sometimes keep you from driving over your head and making a mistake, and I would expect that out of Al here. You kind of concede. I think he'd probably just take a top 5 if it got too rowdy around him there, but we're probably going to be choosing next lap. We may get a natural green-white checkered or very close here, Trevor. As we see these guys getting ready to line up. But I just don't know, unless Kevin in the 27 would commit to taking the inside, taking his launch, and being willing to maybe use up Caleb a little bit, similar to what we saw, our Thursday night guy Ryan Truex do this weekend at Dover. I mean, unless you're going to be willing to go do that, you're probably not going to be able to do anything with him.
Yeah, we'll see what Kevin's going to elect to do here. And hopefully, it looks like going to take the outside line there, Justice. And it's going to put Al and John Fike now. 2 trucks to the inside line. As we're going to have, it looks like a natural attempt here at a green-white checkered for the first attempt. And I got to say, a couple of drivers to look out for, at least give a shout out to. The 72 Jeremy Burns and the 25 of Dustin Adams. I think both of those trucks have been in a handful of incidents tonight and up there inside the top 10 for both of them. Along with Dylan Picklesheimer and Grant Thorpe rounding out the top 10. But here we go. Potential last restart of the night. Caleb Gilbert, Al Likens, Kevin Orlando, John Fike, Devin Hudgens, the top 5. with Frank Hughes there in 6th position. Pace cars pulled off, green flag waiting to wave. There it goes. And it's a great jump there from the 40 of Al Likens. Justice, he said he wasn't too comfortable on the bottom, but forces the 54 up just a little bit. But that's going to give Kevin Orlando with a huge run off the top. Al Likens back to 3rd, but they're wrecking behind with the 84 and 65. Cautions out. And we're going to have a first attempt of 3 at a green-white checkered.
Yeah, the wreck just kind of is what it is. We've seen this same wreck all night. Disagreement over I'm gonna be high and don't come up across my nose, and that appears to be what happened again there. Maybe a little misjudge of space there by the 65. That can happen pretty quickly here at Bristol. But I think as far as the restart goes, we're getting the replay pulled up, and we're on board there with John Fike riding backwards down the wall. This is fun. I like getting in this view, to be honest, Trevor. If somebody spins me out, because I want to be able to tell them that they're number 11 through the windshield there. I want them to know for sure how I feel.
The good old Kyle Busch at Texas hand gesture. And if anybody doesn't know that reference, go look it up. Kyle Busch gave the NASCAR officials a couple of hand gestures that cost him a couple of laps around that racetrack. And right there, just again, misjudgments in space. And I think I've been in that position with Rob and Justice. I think I've been in that same position with you. And it's always fun looking at your competitor across in front of you when you're rolling backwards down the racetrack and just saying a couple of nice words about each other.
Yeah, I think I told you how pretty your eyes were the last time that happened, Trevor, among other things. But flipping here, I'm thinking restart here. And if I'm Kevin Orlando and I just watched that launch the 40 got, I'm thinking to myself, I can get that good of a restart. I can time Caleb up that well, but I'm not going to be as kind in turn 1. We're going to get some dooring going on, and I'm going to see if I can beat you.
Yeah, I think if you're Kevin, you've got to take this inside line because maybe I don't think Al's going to give you that run that you got off the top side if Al is the first truck to go to the inside line. And it's going to be, you're going to have 2 shots at this. We're going to have 2 shots at green, white checker. First attempt, if we get it to the white flag, that'll be the race. If we get a caution before the white flag, we get a second attempt at a green, white checkered. And any flag on the second attempt ends the race. So if we get a quick caution on the restart, the race is over. And I believe we saw, was it Charlotte, Justice, that ended that way, or Nashville that ended that way?
Ooh, Nashville. It was Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlotte, I believe, ended under green there with Kyle Diaz kind of driving away as the 65 was a little bit unlucky with some contact.
That's correct. It was John Fike who was about, if I remember right, 50 feet from the start finish line to win it in regulation, and then held on the subsequent 3 overtime attempts and 1 under caution. But here we go. Choose cone. Kevin Orlando fakes to the inside, going to take the outside behind Caleb Gilbert. Al Likens going to be the first truck to the inside with Frank Hughes. And then Jeremy Burns going to follow suit. And here comes the 25. Justin Adams as well, John Fike, and a couple of other trucks choosing the inside. But not surprised by the 27, Justice. Maybe a little bit disappointed that he didn't take that inside line to give this a shot.
Yeah, I think you're relegating yourself to a second place finish at best by taking this. I know that Caleb's got a launch advantage, but at some point you have to have a little bit of belief in yourself that you can get a good launch and be able to jump with him. But we'll see what happens. Maybe you can make it work as we get to the Geico restart zone. Another great launch by the 40 of Al Likens. Is he willing to use Caleb up a little more than he was last time? And kind of prevent this from going on. But we see Kevin with a big run. Kevin maybe going to dive here. He does in the 3 and 4. He's going to need a massive run to make it work, though, Trevor.
White flag is out. This will end the race. It's going to be Kevin Orlando, Caleb Gilbert, working their way through 1 and 2. Caleb Gilbert gets a good drive off. Kevin a little bit tight, though. And here comes the 61 machine. Frank Hughes, he's going to look to the inside of Kevin for second, and that's going to be the battle for second. Kevin's going to hold off. Frank Hughes is going to get third. Caleb Gilbert, though, gets the win here tonight. Just is able to hold off a hard-charging 27 machine of Kevin Orlando with a great run out of turn number 2 on the white flag lap. Holds off everybody else. Plays the pit strategy well, and he's going to get to go celebrate at the start-finish line, and we will get to talk to him here shortly.
And what a run there. A little caution filled, but the 20 excuse me, the 27 and the 54 giving us a little bit of a show. And we've
Oh,
got some post race altercation here with the 99 and the 03. That is not what you want to have happen to your podium finishers. There, they deserve a little bit more respect than that. So, do hate to see that happen.
yeah. Michael Call, Clint Cox, a little bit of a post race drama there. We'll get a replay pulled up of that as we let Caleb do his celebrations, and we'll pull him up post celebration. But here we go, turn number 4, 99.03. A little bit of a contact made. Not the perfect place to get your retaliation done, Justice, but nonetheless, retaliation made. And here goes the 54 machine burning it down. And now we'll get to talk to our winner, Caleb Gilbert, as we wait for him to get pulled down here into the booth and wait for him to. Oh, actually, he's going to do some more donuts, and then we'll get to talk to him because he now gets to truly celebrate here. And now we get him pulled up into the booth. It's the 54 machine, our race winner, Caleb Gilbert. Caleb is Trevor and Justice in the booth. You played the pit strategy well. Yeah, you got out front. You hang on through all the cautions, the late race green, white, checkered, and a hard charging 27 machine, and Al Likens on the restarts. How you feeling tonight?
Well, a win always feels good. Doesn't feel quite as good, with all the cautions, but a win's a win. And that's what we come here to do. Win races and get the job done. So really good strategy that played out in my favor. Kind of a little lucky in there with some people misplaying strategy, and then being the first one on top of it. Track position's always key here. Not messing up the restarts. I should have changed something up there at the end. Likens had a pretty good read on me on the restarts, but just the top was so dominant the whole time. So
Well, I said after we talked to you in the booth, Caleb, I made a point that we perhaps need to make a phone call, pull some strings, get you down there ringing the siren since you stood into it so long and managed all these cautions. I mean, that's a win for Dawsonville and the people of Dawsonville. You got to get that thing ringing tonight, man.
that's right. I don't know if they're gonna take me driving about 10 minutes up there. By the time I get there, almost midnight, I guess. Well, not quite. It's a little bit earlier. About 11 o'clock. I don't think the Dawson County Sheriff's Office will take too kindly to me ringing it, but maybe I'll give it a shot.
Everything's worth it. It's worth a shot, right? But Caleb, on next week to road course racing, you go from the ovals for the first 4 weeks of the season to turning right and left at the high speed road course that is going to be Watkins Glen. How you feeling about your chances there? We know your teammates pretty quick around the road courses, but how you feeling about that race coming up?
To put some time in for sure. I don't know if I've ever run a road course in the trucks, and when I have, it was when I was super early on the service. So I need a lot of help in that regard. I've gotten better at road course racing recently. I'm more so consistent than I am quick. When I work really hard, I'll come out and have maybe some top 3, even race winning speed if things go my way. So I'll have to work for it. And Burns, his little egotistical self, perhaps. He might give me a pointer or two. He could also tell me to put my brake bias at 83. So it could go either way.
Yeah, you never know. Teammates are friends or that way when it comes to road course secrets. But we can't wait to see what you're going to do for us next week at Watkins Glen and the racing that you're going to put on. But before we let you get out of here, the floor is yours for any shout outs.
Shout out to everybody that goes and puts this on. All of our admins that have to make quick thinking decisions, including myself. I'll toot my own horn, I guess. You guys up in the booth, I know that was a long one. I don't know how you guys feel the time. Whichever way you did, shout out to y'all. Our observer, Rob, I talked to him before the race. I told him I was going to wreck on lap 3 by myself because I'm awful. All my teammates tonight. Burns, he hung in there. I don't know where he finished. 6th with probably 12 minutes of damage, I think, in total. Bike hung in there till the end. Some bad luck goes his way. But those guys were helpful. Burns got me the brake bias that I didn't use the brakes for. So love that. And everybody else that goes in this league, and hopefully, well, next week we're forced to go green flag racing. But hopefully we can clean it up a little bit.
Well, Caleb, we're looking forward to it next week, and congratulations again on the win here tonight. And we will see you next week at Watkins Glen.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
That was our race winner, the 54 machine of Caleb Gilbert. We'll have our other top 3 finishers, Kevin Orlando Jr., Frank Hughes, up here in the booth shortly. along with maybe a surprise guest. But we're going to take a quick second to gather our thoughts here before we finish up our interviews, and we will be right back.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series for the Revo Network 200. Here on the Revo Racing Network, we've got our second place finisher, Kevin Orlando, with us. And Kevin, it's Trevor and Justice up in the booth. We talked to you a couple of restarts ago. You were feeling pretty good about it. You come home second, almost got to the rear bumper of the 54 machine, man. Was there anything else you could have done there?
No, not really. I mean, it was just so hard to pass on the inside all night, and me and him were pretty much on even tires. So the advantage really just came from I was a little bit quicker than him on the outside in 1 and 2, but there was nothing I could do to pass him because he was taking that outside lane away. Frank finished in P3. He had fresher tires. He pit about 50 laps after I did, and he was coming hard. That's I got to give credit to him. That was some good racing there. A few more laps of green, he probably would have came around me and given him a challenge for the lead. But at least I was able to put the truck up in P2. Not a bad finish. Definitely a positive note compared to the rest of the way the season started for me here. So I'll take it.
Well, Kevin, I know you're not super keen on the road course races, so I just want to know this. Tonight's kind of a wash, the way I see it, but what are we thinking about the Glen, and do you think that you can go take Burns out if he were to start with an EOL?
If I can get in his way as he's trying to pass me, sure. You know as good as anyone, I can keep this truck as wide as possible, but there's only so much you can do. I mean, in the trucks, I'm pretty good at the road courses. I honestly feel I'm better in the trucks at road courses than I am in the cup cars. But Jeremy's he's something else with him. He's got it figured out, and I don't know. I haven't quite figured out how he's doing it, but he is fast every time we go to a road course, so it's going to be tough to beat him, even if he does have an EOL.
Well, Kevin, we're excited to see what you're going to do for us next week at Watkins Glen. Congratulations again on the second place tonight. But before we let you out of here, any shout outs you want to give us?
Tonight is just showing out to you guys, putting up the prize for the race, sponsoring the race and everything, and putting on a great broadcast again. So big shout out to you guys at Revo Racing Network for this one.
Well, thank you, Kevin, and good luck next week at Watkins Glen.
All right, thank you.
So it's our second place finisher, the 27 machine of Kevin Orlando. Now to our third place finisher, the 61 machine of Frank Hughes. And Frank, was an up and down night, kind of reflecting of the season, kind of an up and down start to the season for you. You had speed, sent to the back, you make it back up to third. How are you feeling after that eventful race here tonight?
Apologize to Michael Reed. I didn't mean to hook him there under caution. I got on the brakes and it started to come around, and I accidentally hooked him. So I want to apologize about that. Other than that, pretty eventful if you ask me, going to the front, then going back to the back, and then back to the front.
We saw you up there, kind of making your way through a couple times, early on, kind of coming from mid pack up to the middle of the top five. What do you think else you could have done there, Frank? Make your way up and challenge that 54, maybe get that 61 in victory lane.
Uh, really needed him to on restarts if anybody wanted to get him, pick the bottom because he knew the outside would work. That was the only way to really get going. You could get to second on the inside if you chose the inside of the second row, but if you didn't have anything on the outside, you weren't getting the leader.
Well, Frank, you've had a kind of an eventful start to the season here tonight. We go to Watkins Glen next week. How are you feeling about your chances at a road course?
I would say mediocre. I mean, I'm okay, but not that great. So just a solid finish there would be great for my book.
Well, Frank, hopefully you can get that done. We can't wait to see what you're going to do for us next week at Watkins Glen. But before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout outs.
I'd like to thank all my teammates, Justin Hughes, Wayne Lowe, Dominic Hughes. Also like to give a shout out to Hughes's Garage in North Carolina and Hughes's Garage in Pennsylvania.
All right, Frank. Well, good luck next week and congratulations again on the third place finish here tonight.
Thank you very much.
That was our third place finisher, the 61 machine of Frank Hughes and Justice. It was an eventful night tonight for everybody involved as we go 200 laps and I believe about 24 cautions to wind things up here tonight. Like Caleb Gilbert going to get the win. Kevin Orlando going to come home second. Frank Hughes, Al Likens, Devin Hudgens, Jeremy Burns comes home in sixth with Trevor Keith, Dylan Picklesheimer, Dustin Adams, and Grant Thorpe rounding out the top 10. And I think at one point, half the top 10, if not all of it, Justice caught up in incidents over the course of the night.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I tell you what, for the 15 to finish seventh, I didn't even realize that, Trevor, till just now. That is impressive because he had a ton of damage early. So, same with Burns. You heard Caleb talking about it, rather about 12 minutes worth of damage on that truck. So, the 25 of Dustin Adams the same. But yeah, I think that pretty well covered tonight. These guys are gonna have these kind of things happen. This is a learning experience for everybody involved. It'll only get better. We saw it happen on Wednesdays. I expect more of the same here as it straightens itself out. But we get to go next week, get a reset, go to the Glen. And that's where I'm really intrigued to see you and I both pretty good on those road courses. So who can go up there, challenge that 72 truck? He's going to be one of the favorites. The 77 to Grant Thorpe, typically pretty good on the road courses as well. You heard Caleb talk about it, take a little work, but he's typically all right. So interested to see who else can go out there and make it happen.
It's going to be fun to watch. We go from the high-speed short track racing of Bristol Motor Speedway to the high-speed long road course that's going to be Watkins Glen next week. But if you want more racing action, be sure to tune in Wednesday night to the Revo Cup or the Racing Revolution Cup Series over on the V Speed YouTube channel. And if you want more from us here at the Revo Racing Network, be sure to come check us out on Thursday nights for the TTR Short Track Series brought to you by Highland Homes Roofing as they get ready for their final race before the championship race at the Bull Ring, where we'll see who the other 4 drivers are running for a championship before we come right back here for more Monday night action from Watkins Glen for the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series. But for myself, Trevor Earhart, Justice Murphy, and Rob Rader running the productions, that's going to be it for us. We'd also like to give a shout out to all the wonderful sponsors, Coastal Financial and Slurp Sodas, for their continued sponsorship throughout the season. But we will be back Thursday night action for the TTR Short Track Series.